where the truth once stood. A kingdom of confusion carved out of falsehood. But he walks through the ruins like a prophet reborn. A voice once in fire, a mic on this door. The chaos watches with an all-seeing glare. Guardian of reason in a world unaware. When the overlord stalls at the edge of the frame, the faithful rise up, they already know his name. I'm here to resurrect the second coming of common sin. I come to wake the sleeping, the church will bring the fed. No idols, no illusions, no hollow incompetence. Here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Misled, picking truth from the wreckage, raising dawn from the dead. Every word is a weapon, shot and declare, exposing every shadow we pretend not to fear. And the overlord rises with a sovereign command. A beast of judgment, the Lord will give his bid. On his growl rings through the silence of the night. The loyal understand, shrieking keeps the balance right. I'm here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. I'm beginning the chaos of found to
Welcome back to the party, everybody. This is Morty, and I'm your host, Lech, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Everybody hit that like and subscribe. You know I would do it for you, and let's party. Welcome back to the party. See, it's different. When I had the light shirt on, the lights were all weird, and now I'm back, and everything is back to normal. Welcome. Shout out to all of you who tuned in to the movie night last night. I saw Monty Python and the Lawnmower Man for the first ever time, and it was a good time. But that means we've got a new weekly movie night goal. $1 equals 1 point. 2 points in the after party, and if we hit that, then you can get a jump start on next week. Triple points during the movie night. But for tonight, our main event is something that you guys have been, kind of wanting me to cover this for a while, but it just so happened that there was someone very similar, and I wanted to kind of space it out a little bit. As you saw from the title, we are covering the Andrew Wilson versus Owen Shroyer debate on whether Trump was successful or not. We got David Gillespie. Welcome to the party. Very good to see you. If you are, let me put the chat on there. If you are not new here, then you will remember that I recently did a debate on Speakeasy's channel, The Swords of Reason, as to whether Trump was the greatest president of all time. And I took the negative on that, even though I was saying he's the greatest president of my lifetime. But here, the prompt is, has the Trump presidency been successful? And so that is quite a different framing. And from what I saw, I think this is going to be a good opportunity for us to kind of parse out where a lot of us are really gung-ho about MAGA. Some of us are kind of like, I'm not really on the Trump train anymore, all that kind of stuff. I think having two Trump supporters have this conversation is going to be really good for us to parse out our own ideas and our own differences. So let's dive right in. As always, guys, if you cannot hear the video, please do let me know.
Having a debate on whether the Trump administration has been successful. And tonight we have two very talented debaters with us. But before we get into that, just want to tell you guys a little bit about Uncensored America.
All right, shout out to
We're a free speech organization, 501c3 nonprofit on 13 college campuses now. So if you want to get involved with the USC chapter here or get involved with more chapters all across the country or start your own, go to uncensored.us.
Welcome.
And we also have a double header.
To the party.
We have debate tonight, but then tomorrow night we have a massive debate with Rachel Wilson and the Brian Shapiro from the Brian Shapiro Show.
And so that's why I've held on to this, because I had to cover the Rachel Wilson, Brian Shapiro one as soon as possible. And so I didn't want to do back-to-back Wilsons, and we had some other stuff come up. So here we are. Play. Oh, God, are we doing this again?
I know you guys are all probably fans of him here with the Crucible, but he's very well known amongst that community. So if you guys want to come to that, that's going to be at the University of North Carolina.
All right,
for tonight's format, we will have 5-minute openings followed by 5-minute rebuttals, a crossfire section of 40 minutes followed by audience Q&A for 30 minutes, and then 3-minute closings. With that, I have the timer set for you. The affirmative going first. Andrew, the floor is all yours.
So again, that means that Andrew here is going to be saying that, yes, Trump's presidency has been successful, while Owen Shroyer of InfoWars is going to be like, nah, bro, not even. Shout out to Nessa. Welcome. Said, I think it's way too soon to say. He walked in one of the biggest shit shows the Dems have done while in control to date. I think he's doing the best with what he had. I agree. At least in terms of the I assume you're talking about the immigration stuff. I don't know how anybody could complain about that. But there's a lot of other things that are far from perfect. But as we always, or as I like to always point out, that when we're looking at politics, we're looking at a different realm. So you're not going to judge a politician on the basis that you would judge your best friend or your spouse, or they're completely different categories. And so the fact that Trump has done a lot of things that I don't like doesn't mean that as a president he hasn't been successful. But we'll see what Owen puts forth, and maybe I'll change my mind. So it's going to take years to get back to a good place. Sadly, I agree. Welcome. We also got Glowing Dark. Good to see you, brother. How are we? Let's dive right in.
For you, the affirmative going first. Andrew, the floor is all yours.
First and foremost, thanks all of you for being here. And before we do anything else, we got the legend Owen Shroyer. Can we give him a good round of applause?
I don't really know Owen Shroyer that well. I just know that he was locked up for January 6th when he was just reporting, but I don't really know anything else about him.
That said, just
Uncensored America, please set up the cameras and stuff first. Do a dry run. Have them stand at the podium, set up the cameras, and then when you go live, everything will be set already.
still going to get stomped. So first
Stomped.
and foremost, let me clear up any misrepresentation when it comes to my views. I am anti-Zionist and anti-Christian Zionist especially. I have done many debates on the topic, and I've won them all. I'm also very anti-Islam and consider the ideology just as poisonous as the
That's shit. Me too.
ideology of Zionism, especially Christian Zionism. I am not a war supporter in Iran, and I never have been. I say this at the beginning of the debate, so when bad faith trolls who are on foreign accounts try to influence American politics in the comments, claiming that I'm in some way a Zionist, pro-Israel, pro-Islam shill, You can shatter the lies by simply showing them the beginning of this debate, which they won't even watch. And you and I can laugh at their stupidity together. That said, I also don't believe Jews or Arabs are ontologically evil just because they are Jewish or Arabic. I represent a worldview, and I believe there are stupid and evil ideologies in this world, and those are the things I debate against and resist on a political level. Today, we debate if Trump has been successful as a president. Usually, I would clear this up semantically and quickly with Owen, but we seem to have the same general notion about what success means and doesn't mean, so we will just get right to the heart of the debate. I'd like to begin by pointing out that Trump stopping two different left-wing women from becoming president and being the first president who's a woman should immediately default him to the position of a successful president. As just that...
It's hard to disagree. It's hard to disagree.
That alone saved the nation from years of torment and suffering from the most insufferable vocal fried women the world has ever seen. That alone, I feel like, wins me the debate, but there's so much more. Starting on the pro-Christian side, office of faith, though I don't like who's in it, I like there's an office for it. Affirm via executive order there are two genders and revoke the idea of gender being different from sex. He signed an executive order stopping trans-surgical chemical alterations of children. He made
God damn it.
Children Christmas Eve and the day after Christmas federal holidays, affirming Christian beliefs as the ones we celebrate. He signed an executive order to eradicate anti-Christian bias in the government. He expanded school choice via executive order so we could remove our children from
Of course, as soon as I speed him up, then he starts talking faster. Come on, man.
Indoctrination Center of Atheists. He signed an executive order expanding Christian participation in adoption. He reinstated the Mexico City.
You think it's bad with just the vocal fry itself, but then you get the Kamala-isms, and oh my God, I think we would all blow our brains out.
The policy blocking U.S. tax dollars from promoting abortions in other nations. He enforced the Hyde Amendment to stop federal funding of abortions. He strengthened the conscientious protection for doctors and nurses who are against abortion. He supported religious charter schools. He directed the State Department to prioritize against Christian persecution abroad, just to name some of his policy directives. And that's just the Christian side.
And why do you have them on opposite sides? Fix this shit before you start.
Right. Domestically, his most major victory is something incredible. Net migration negative. More immigrants leave.
We all fell out of a coconut tree. I'm stolen land. First one goes to me. First one goes to me. Don't let the meme die, guys. Don't let the meme die. Oh, come on.
Even coming. Both legal and illegal, which was his primary function in office from the standpoint of voters. And this is one of the few Western nations where that is the case currently with limited exceptions. The Cato Institute, very pro-immigration, had to admit themselves that Trump has limited legal immigration even more than illegal immigration, negating the base fear from his own base that he would stop illegal immigration, ramp up legal immigration. He hasn't. Over 130,000 less per month just on the legal side. Real wage growth is up 1.3% under Trump. It was negative under Biden. The federal workforce down 10%, which is excellent. Crime is down across the nation. Even Owen agrees with that.
See, this is an interesting way to use your opening, because it's kind of boring. He's just like listing out basic stuff, and I mean, you know, totally fine way to do this, especially if the argument that you're going to put forth in the actual debate is heavily on policy. But like, I've always seen the opening statement as kind of a way, like, I like what he did at the beginning. Oh, the haters are going to say this, that. My opponent's going to say this, that, and he's wrong because of this. But other than that, it's kind of just a warm up. The whole thing of a debate is that you're playing to the audience. And I mean, I guess, you know, he's got an advantage there because the Crucible people just follow him around wherever he goes. So he's got the whole crowd. But in terms of the online crowd, then I don't know. I like, you know what I mean? I'm usually like average debate enjoyer, Tyler. He does good with his opening statements. He does good because there's a little bit of panache to it, you know?
10%, which is excellent. Crime is down across the nation. Even Owen agrees with that. The Overton window has shifted right on most national conversations, including LGBTQ and transgender ideology. This isn't even getting into the historic court cases like Roe v. Wade and Chevron, which undid huge injustices in the United States. These are just
whenever that comes up, I will always say that I do think that more older fetuses are dying because we don't have Roe v. Wade. We should have had something. I mean, some states did, but should have had some something in place. If Roe v. Wade was going to be overturned, that making sure that half the country didn't be like, all right, well, 9-month abortions, yay!
Of Trump's accomplishments, among many, I just can't list them all due to time. The idea of Owen Shroyer and many other anti-Trump right-wingers is accelerationism. The glaring logical hole, of course, in that is all that happens is Democrats get power, make life worse for everybody.
Is he in the Nick Fuentes camp of, oh, we should vote for the Democrats to show them a lesson?
And then they just run back to Republicans to fix everything the Democrats did, and the entire time is spent by Republicans cleaning up the mess that Democrats and leftists left for us. It doesn't work.
Oh my God, the camera movement is so distracting.
And can't work in a two-party system. Ensuring Democrat control by denouncing Trump and Republicans just assures a packed Supreme Court, outrageous censorship, mass migration, expansion of gay agenda, feminism, and the movement of an anti-Christian and anti-Christ-driven world.
I wonder if there's an overlap with, I was asking if Schroyer's Shroyer the Groiper. So I'm with the Roe v. Wade, because we had the whatever it was 20 weeks or whatever. Of course, the states that locked down abortion after Roe v. Wade was overturned, great. But the other half of the country went to I mean, not all of them, but in a lot of other states now they allow abortion up to 9 months, and so you have more fetuses dying that are further along that otherwise under Roe v. Wade wouldn't have been able to be aborted. So I'm not saying that it's necessarily like, I think that I don't see a better political compromise than what Roe v. Wade was. Like if we can get rid of abortion completely, then that would be my my ideal world. But I don't think that happens. I don't think that we see that. And so good for the states that locked it down, but now it's like, would you rather have 50 million 6-week-olds being aborted, or 100 million or 50 million 9-month-old babies? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just think it was not seeing the forest for the trees. Oh my goodness! Shout out to Netha, starting us off with the Big 10. Thank you. So very, very much. Of course, every donation comes with a treat for Morty, getting us started on the weekly goal as well. And of course, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. Thank you so very, very much. Let's dive right back in. Very much appreciate it.
And the movement of an anti-Christian and anti-Christ-driven world. You guys seem to forget we had Biden. It was awful. And rather than continue his policies, people elected Trump en masse because life under Democrats is fucking awful. Yep. Now, you aren't going to get everything you want out of any administration. Trump is way too pro-feminist, pro-gay, and pro-Zionist for my personal liking, but we all knew that going in. He was still vastly superior to the alternative to Democrats and their cohorts, especially Harris, who wanted to roll back tax breaks
30 seconds.
And tax as an offset instead of tariffs, which is Democrat policy as usual.
Thank you.
We knew Trump was pro-Israel. He moved the embassy to Jerusalem and tore up the Iran deal the first time around. We knew this was part of what we were getting when we elected him, including Owen Shroyer, who, by the way, was put in solitary confinement by Democrats and held, in my opinion, as a political prisoner. That's what's in store for us under Democrats. I will cede no ground to Democrats under any circumstances, as there's no alternative. There's nothing. You cannot give Democrats power, period. And with that, I'll cede the rest of my time, but just note that progressive ideology is always waiting to strike.
He definitely loves his treats. Thank you again. Oh, wait, we got the again.
And going against Trump is not going to help against that fight.
Thank you very much for that opening.
Agreed, but also what's not going to help is just going along with whatever Trump says, because it's what Trump said.
We'll kick it over to Owen for his opening as well.
Well, the premise of this debate is, has President Trump been successful or not? The premise is not, are the Democrats a bad political party? I think that we all agree with that. So that is not the premise of the debate. And I feel that the very fact that we are having this debate shows that there is at least room for consideration that the Trump administration has not been successful. And while you do list off things that Trump has been successful on, and I will give credit to this administration on securing the border and lowering crime rates, quickly on those issues, though, these are not things that we should have to beg for. These are not things that we should have to consider a success. These should be things that are considered a standard. So really, that's more of a story of how corrupt our country has become, which gets to what this administration was supposed to be all about. It was supposed to be addressing the corruption head on in that collision and destroying it in the process. And I think it's fair to say that at least to this point, it's not happening. But here's some of the other issues that I think are going to be more important when it comes to, is Trump going to be successful?
And I just dropped a poll for you guys, basically asking the question of the debate. Successful, yes or no? Or, as Nessa said, too early to tell.
Economy. The vast majority of Americans still believe the economy is heading in the wrong direction. We have more Americans that are living paycheck to paycheck today than any other time in recent history. And as everybody is well aware, our national debt continues to go to record highs. But it's not just the country that's in debt. The average citizen is in debt. It's so bad now that people are having to take out payment plans for pizza delivery. Now, you might not
they don't have to. People just are. If you're not familiar, they have Klarna, and then there's some other app where you can literally, it's like layaway, but for anything. And so you could you can use Klarna with DoorDash. So you have like a $30 order coming from McDonald's, and you could pay that in like three different, I don't even know how it works, but people do not have to do that. I think if you are familiar with Caleb Hammer's show, Financial Audit, that has been such a beautiful tool to expose how a lot of the problems that we're seeing in terms of people's not being able to afford things, it's just because they spend recklessly. They don't budget, and they spend recklessly. There are definitely issues. But people do not have to have pizza in the first place. And if you can't afford it in one go, then don't eat the fucking pizza. David said right should be standard, but hasn't. You mean the right, or right should be standard, but it hasn't been the standard since the late 80s. Been a long time. Let's bring back personal accountability, please. Thank you. Yeah. It's crazy. He's like, we've never had anybody in here who was a veteran who's not on disability, and like full disability, because you worked in the kitchen and you get headaches. And it's like, I mean, I want to take care of our veterans too. But I mean, come on.
To take out payment plans for pizza delivery. Now, you might not want to blame all of that on President Trump, and perhaps that's fair, but yet this is the economy ongoing under President Trump. And it doesn't help when anytime there's another war on the other side of the planet, we have billions of dollars to spend on that while the average American continues to struggle. So
that I do agree with.
The economy, I don't think you can claim has been a success. Tied into that is Doge, the Doge cuts. Elon Musk believed we could get $1 trillion in Doge cuts annually. We got a couple 10 million, and they stopped that. There's not going to be any Doge stimulus checks, whether you wanted that or not. So Doge getting cut out cold, I think, was a major failure. Barack Obama has deported more Americans than Donald Trump. Now, we might get into the details of that today. I will spare those details for the opening. I'm sure that this will come back up, but yet that fact remains. What about the deep state? President Trump himself has posted about treasonous politicians more times than we can count. True. So if there's politicians that are treasonous and you are the president, then I have to ask, where are the arrests? That's kind of the biggest crime you can commit in this country, and yet nobody has been arrested. Don't even get me started on the Epstein clients, which are apparently a hoax one day, and then the next day Melania Trump is addressing the nation on how the victims of the hoax need to speak to Congress.
I don't care. I will never let that go. I am not saying that I expected Trump to be able to overturn the entire political establishment, but he folded. That doesn't mean that I hate him, but I will never forgive him for that.
So I'm not sure where we want to go with that. But either way, no deep state arrests. Where are all the Epstein pedophile arrests? We're not getting those. These are things that people anticipated, and yet there's no success there either. And by the way, as you mentioned, Trump's victory over the liberal women, which I think we'll all agree was a major victory, he was not the president when that happened. He's never won an election as president. Just thought I'd point that out. As far as the office of...
yeah, I'm with Andrew. I'd say he won thrice. But I think this is going to come down to the positives outweigh the negatives? Or what would be even easier for Andrew is to establish a framework for what a successful president is. And so if you set the bar low as to, they're politicians, it's the government, what the fuck do we expect them to do? So a successful president does X, Y, and Z. And Trump has done way more than X, Y, and Z. That is probably the best way that I would want to approach this, because right now we're getting into tit for tat about Trump good, Trump bad, Trump good, Trump bad. But it really is. It should be about the word successful. What does successful mean? I'm actually surprised that maybe I missed it, but I'm surprised that we didn't get a definition, at least so far, from either one of them as to what do we mean by a successful presidency. David said the only way Obama's numbers is more is if they count people turned away at the border. That's not deportation. I did not know that. People have been running around like, Obama's doing more than him. I didn't know that. There you go. There you go.
And when that happened, he's never won an election as president. Just thought I'd point that out. As far as the office of faith is concerned, it seems to be going about the same way of the Board of Peace. Nothing but vanity, no real results.
Tend to agree there.
You talk about the anti-Christian bias that they're fighting, yet look at who Trump is working with now. He's making sure that Karine Jean-Bowler kicked off of the Religious Liberties Commission for her political takes. Yet Laura Loomer, who is a vehement anti-Muslim, anti-Catholic psychotic, somehow has the ear of President Trump. So I'm not sure if that's really working for the anti-Christian. Wage growth, that's going to be an interesting one. I'm sure we're going to get more into that. But I think it goes back to the general economic picture that whether it's Trump or anybody else, Americans are still struggling. And I think if we be honest here, if we're going to be honest, a lot of this economy is actually Trump's fault. And I know he likes to blame it on Biden. But if you go back and look at it, it was the COVID economy that caused the permanent damage. It was the COVID.
And so I don't even necessarily disagree with that on its face, that like the COVID damage was the big damage. And, then the money printing came later and that was not good and all that stuff. And the world being shut down, all of that was bad. But there's much more, we should have much more grace for dealing with the legitimate novel worldwide pandemic. By the time, none of us knew what the fuck was going on when it started. Well, except for Dr. Fauci. And, but by the time Biden was in, we knew it was good. And he kept fucking shit up.
Economy that resulted in 10 to 15 to 20% inflation. Those are Trump's policies. Now, Biden was obviously a disaster. I'm not here to promote anything Biden did, but that was the Trump economy. The COVID economy is the Trump economy. Now, as far as accelerationism is concerned, I don't believe I have ever publicly supported that. I do understand the concept.
I do think it and believe it, but I'm pretty sure I've never said it.
I understand why people like it. I'm not here because I want Democrats to win. And I think this is a very important statement for me to make, because much like in your opening statement, you wanted to clarify some things that people get wrong about you. I want to clarify this. I do not want Democrats to win. As has already been documented in this debate, Democrats have put me in prison. In fact, I was put in jail 4 times for supporting President Trump, including the last one when I was put in solitary confinement. So believe me, I know how dangerous the Democrats are. The problem is, it's not up to me. This is Trump. If Trump cannot get the Republicans over the finish line in the midterms, that has nothing to do with podcasters. It has nothing to do with accelerationists, and it has everything to do with President Trump and the GOP. And ultimately, that's going to be the major measuring stick as to whether or not he's successful.
And so that's right there. That's the only metric that we've been given. If you win the midterms, then you're a successful president, according to Owen. I mean, so then going the other way around, saying, okay, if the bar is, well, I mean, I guess that's not a high bar, but you take that bar, you take any other president that he wouldn't like and be like, well, they won the midterms. Do you think they were a successful president? No? Okay, then what the fuck are you talking about? Always say, and with that, I can see the rest of my time.
Thank you very much for that 5-minute opening as well. We'll jump into the 5-minute rebuttals.
Shout out to Rob Nor in the bag, yeah?
Yeah, so this is just straight time, right?
You said straight time?
Yeah, so 5 minutes each?
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. So let's go through a bunch of this stuff. Let's start with the economy. He seems to be pretty upset about the economy and says that it's all Trump's fault. In some ways, he's correct, and in many ways, he's not correct. So progressives warned us of this, right? Progressives said, if you cut all this immigration, GDP go down. Why? Because they have an influx of cheap labor, right? You have cheap labor that comes in that artificially keeps the wages depressed for corporations. They can then sell you things and goods for cheaper. Pretty simple, right? So what does Trump do?
Pretty simple.
Stops all this mass migration. Prices go up. I'm stunned. We were forewarned of this for years by the opposite side, by progressives. And so what's
right? And I mean the same argument or the same concept applied for getting rid of slavery. Like, hey, all this free labor is gone. Prices are gonna change.
What's hilarious about this is that, yeah, it is in fact going to be the case that if American companies have to start paying fair wages to American citizens, prices are going to go up. But you can't have your cake and eat it too, Owen. You can't say, I want there to be no mass migration to the United States at all, and I want all of my goods and services cheap. It's not going to work that way. How can it? Can you explain to the audience what the Owen Shroyer policy would be to offset that? No, you can't, because you wouldn't have one.
Shout out to King Nirvana. Welcome to the party, Larry. Good to see you, sir.
You're going to have to eat shit on that. One way or the other, you're going to have to. The other problem is, he says there's a war on the other side of the planet. That's true. There is. It's been going on for about 7 weeks. That's about it. 7 weeks. So that's our big
weeks, not months. So we got another week before. Oh no, this was a month ago. Weeks, not months.
Hang on, it's my rebuttal time. I won't interrupt yours, I promise. 7 weeks, not quite the forever war that we were promised from the other side. And it seems
that's
to be
what they said about
down.
Iraq.
Not only that,
that's what they said about Afghanistan.
War, what we find is that most of the exports in oil are going from China. They're going to China. How does it not behoove the United States strategically to do something about that? Of course it does. And we can dive into that too in the open back and forth.
So that's really, at least, we'll put a pin in this as we go on. But for me personally, when it comes to the Iran stuff, it was a question of, on one hand, does this actually need to be done? And then on the other hand, what happens if we don't? And I feel like I fell for the fear mongers a little bit more than I wanted to. But you live and you learn. You get straight. Yeah, man. Well, you definitely ain't gonna see me on Tuesday. Whatever day is that tomorrow? You definitely ain't gonna see me tomorrow. I was just counting. I think I've done what? So we did. I don't think I did anything Thursday. So it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 4 days in a row. We good.
To China. How does it not be?
I didn't drink yesterday.
Strategically, to do something about that. Of course it does, and we can dive into that too in the open back and forth. Now, I'm not a big supporter of foreign wars, especially not in Iran. I'm not making any excuses for it. I'm just pointing out something which is obvious. He also says Elon Musk did Doge cuts. Were Democrats going to do Doge cuts? No. Trump made that promise, and that's exactly what they tried to do. He's been hamstrung at every level. This guy.
Bro, what the fuck? Oh, now my side button's working again. Yes. Okay, I guess we'll use the side button. What the fuck did you just say now?
And that's exactly what they tried to do.
Oh, yeah. Doge. The fact that Doge was not as prolific as we wish it was only is a point on Owen's side if, exactly as Andrew said, the Democrats were going to do it and do it better, or another Republican president was going to do it and do it better. And, yep. Exactly. That's what they said. That's what they said about Iraq. That's what they said about Afghanistan. And here we are, months in. So that's why I say I think I was pulled in by the Warhawks a little bit too much. Because now, as months have gone by and we're looking to just get back to where we started, then everybody's like, well, this is going to happen, and that's going to happen, and that's going to happen. And everybody was saying with such confidence. And so it made me be like, oh, okay. I mean, if you guys know, then I guess sometimes you just got to trust your gut.
He's been hamstrung at every level. This guy has 3 times the amount of court cases against him as any other president does in the last 50 years. Dang. It's ridiculous. Democrats hamstring him at every corner. So,
was Nixon before or after 50 years ago?
So as we go through this, let's talk about Epstein. That's another big one.
So the Fed has implemented quantitative easing programs since the financial crisis. We call it 08 because I graduated high school in 08. So 07, you go fuck yourself. 08. Most recently was in 2020, and it was a response to COVID-19. That is the Fed printing money. Yep. And so this is this is why we. Like, it's not a new idea of, quantitative easing, printing money, all that shit. That's nothing new. but you have to. There has to be an asterisk next to Trump doing it in 2020 because of the fact that COVID-19 really was new. It really was novel. I mean, what was he supposed to do? Oh, did I miss? Got you in the banner. Hold on, Essa.
Through this, let's talk about Epstein. That's another big one. With Epstein, you have to separate mythology,
Wait,
the actual mythology of Epstein,
there we
from
go.
the facts of Epstein. To hear the other side tell it, there is a global pedophilic satanic organization which runs the United States. The evidence they have for that? Fucking nothing.
Nothing. Nothing at all. We're just making it up.
Come on, man.
This is where you start to lose me. This is where you start to lose me. There's just no evidence. There's just no evidence that Jeffrey Epstein had anything to do with anybody.
They have nothing. United States. The evidence they have for that? Fucking nothing. They have nothing.
Right.
They have no evidence
Right. And so that's exactly it. It wasn't new. However, it was different.
whatsoever. Guarantee you he won't be able to provide us with any evidence for that. Not a single shred. Not only that, I'll tell you something really
That's
interesting.
the problem.
I do know.
That's precisely the problem, Andrew. We were promised that evidence. We were promised that evidence and we didn't get it. That is the problem.
Of a satanic type religion of pedophiles. And right this second, Trump's blowing them up. Right this second, as we speak, he blew up their leadership. The Ayatollah Khomeini instituted marriage, child marriage.
This is Weasley. This is Weasley. You see what he's doing. He's like, well, Trump is fighting the pedophiles and you don't like it. That's not why we're in Iran, bro. And you know that. Slimy Andrew.
The Ayatollah Khomeini instituted marriage, child marriage, as young as 9 years old inside of Iran. And we're killing them overwhelming. You want to talk about pedophiles? Let's talk about pedophiles. Where are they at? I can tell you who we're blowing up right now who are pedophiles. That would be Trump blowing up pedophiles.
Okay, but if it was about that, then we would be blowing up a lot more places because child marriage is a lot more prevalent around the world than we would like it. So in the same way that he's trying to act like, oh, well, you don't really care about pedophilia, he's doing the exact same thing.
That's what he's doing currently. So it's really
That happens to be what he's doing currently.
funny to me, the Epstein people, hey, wait a second, we're totally anti-pedophile. This is ridiculous. There's pedophiles at the top levels.
Are you not anti-pedophile, Andrew? Because it is ridiculous.
They have no evidence for that. And yet, if we just look
Right, again, that is the problem. We were promised evidence, and we didn't get any evidence.
ridiculous, there's pedophiles at the top levels. They have no evidence for that. And yet, if we just look not too far away, we see that there's an entire nation of pedophiles. Do you mind doing trade with them? Right? Owen
So the pedophiles that are across the world, you want American lives and money and resources to go to that, but you're cool with the pedophiles in America. Is that what I'm getting? You see how you can play this game? He is very good at semantics. He is very good at playing semantics. But it doesn't hold water if you actually look into it.
an entire nation of pedophiles. Do you mind doing trade with them? Right? Owen Shroyer recently said, I don't care why, or he said in his debate with Shabos, why is it that Iran is not allowed to have a nuke, but Israel is? What are you advocating for there? That a whole country full of pedophiles is allowed to have a nuclear bomb? Why should we allow that?
This is weak. This is weak. Come on. King said, by the way he's talking, you would think Trump has executed everything the base wanted and flawlessly at that. Yeah, that's what's so frustrating. That you don't need, as I said earlier, you don't need to make that argument. You just need to create the bar of what is a successful president. And there's way worse presidents in both of their eyes than Trump that would meet that bar. There's a successful president, does this, does that, and doesn't do that. Whatever metrics that you want to use. then it becomes impossible, because then you would have to say that all of these different presidents who maybe you don't like as much, maybe you weren't alive, whatever, they were also unsuccessful. And that doesn't hold water. Why he went down this road, I have no idea.
A whole country full of pedophiles is allowed to have a nuclear bomb? Why should we allow that? It's ridiculous. Moving through some of these other problems, he says the problem.
Okay, if that's why we're over there, why didn't he do it in his first term? And if he is over there because of all the PDFs, then again, we only care about the kids being PDF'd in other countries and not here. I moved the button, so
What?
that don't make no sense. But if Trump is blowing up the pedophiles, and it's like, oh, I guess he hates pedophiles. I think he does, but that's not. That doesn't connect.
Why should we allow that? It's ridiculous. Moving through some of these other problems, he says the problems Republicans, podcasting means nothing. When we're talking about Trump, especially in his second term, podcast meant everything. In fact, Kamala Harris said it herself.
Yep.
Joe Rogan. And the fact that Trump went on Joe Rogan really helped push him over the top. Harris regretted the fact she didn't do the podcast syndicated radio shows. He didn't do the podcast circuit. She didn't do any of that.
It's a good thing for her that she didn't. It's a good thing. Whoever told her not to go on those shows should stay. Kamala should trust that person, because as much as she could have gotten the opportunity to speak, that's kind of what lost her the whole fucking election.
She regretted it. She said that she regretted it. She even blamed Myron Gaines, a podcaster, for parts of her loss. She blamed him.
I mean, who doesn't hate Myron?
Him and the evil manosphere, because they don't want women to be president, like somebody else who's on the stage right now. So as we go through this, I'm kind of happy. I'd like to get into the back and forth as quick as we can so that we can see if any of these criticisms actually hold muster. He says he's not addressing.
Hold mustard. Did you say hold muster or hold mustard? I've heard hold water. I've never heard hold muster. Is muster a word?
Muster.
Primarily means to assemble, gather, or summon. So yeah, I don't think. I think he's saying a formal gathering of troops or crew. Yeah, I think he said hold mustard. All right. I mean, hey. I was just today thinking about how I'm frustrated that I don't have the witty I don't even know what you call it, but like I was watching the have you guys seen the Lego thing? I put it on my community tab, but I was watching Charlie Penguin Zero cover it, and he's just so quick with being able to have little idioms and little jokes, and I don't know, if you know, you know, but I wish I was that quick. But never heard holding mustard. David said she would have lost half of the votes she got if she had done the podcast. Bingo. Yep. You'd say pass mustard talking about troops. Oh, okay. Well, you learn something new every day. I like hold water better anyway.
And so that we can see if any of these criticisms actually hold muster. He says he's not addressing corruption. 15 seconds. Yeah, he's not addressing corruption head on. It's like,
I also don't love the, all right, 15 seconds. Can we get just a second clock and turn it around? Because so far, we've seen that it interrupts them. So let's fix that.
Wait a second. What do you mean? He's going after the SPLC right this second. As we speak, super corrupt organization, which was working with the deep state, by the way. Just pointing that out.
Can't do mustard. I don't like mustard. Ugh. It's not like, if I get like something from McDonald's and they fucking put mustard on it, I'm not gonna like throw it away. But shout out to Dick Johnson. Welcome to the party. Very good to see it, sir. So to pass muster means to meet a required standard, reach an acceptable level, or successfully pass a formal or informal inspection. There you go.
Corrupt organization, which was working with the deep state, by the way. Just pointing that out.
With that, we'll kick it over to Owen for his 5-minute rebuttal as well. Floor is all yours, Owen.
And so if you're just joining us, we got opening statements from both. We got the 5-minute rebuttal from Andrew. Now we're doing Owen's 5 minutes, and then we get into the debate. Yeah, right.
All right. Well, as far as when this war started, obviously there's a lot of contention in the geopolitical debate realm, but at least for this administration, it started last June with Operation Midnight Hammer. And since then, we haven't gotten a lick of honesty.
The 12-day war. It was just 12 days, guys. That's it. It was just 12 days.
Because we were supposed to have annihilated or obliterated, was the official word from the president, their nuclear capabilities. And then they came back a few months later and said Iran was weeks away, days away from a nuke. And so now we're over there again. And I think to most people, they perceive this war, I think, accurately as just
that. Yeah, okay. Muster the courage. I have heard that. Well, I mean, like again, like I said, if I'm going through the drive-thru and I want a fucking burger, and they put mustard on the burger and I drive away, I'm not gonna throw it out. Like I'm gonna eat that shit, but I don't like mustard. That was the point.
Again, and I think to most people, they perceive this war, I think, accurately as just another regime change war. Now, you may not care for Iran's leadership. You're not going to get any pushback from me on any of that. And yet the facts remain. This was a regime change war. They lied to us about it from the very beginning. There is a major contingency of Trump's voting base that voted for no new wars. It was part of the campaign promise. In fact, Trump himself, for decades, has been talking about how we've wasted blood and treasure in the Middle East, wasted it, his own words. He ran against Bush's wars in his first campaign in 2015 and 2016. And he even said specifically, no more regime change wars. So,
and I mean, outside of, I still need to look this up. I don't know why I haven't done it yet, but and it's not something real quick, so I would have to take some time to do it. So I'm not going to do it now. But I'm pretty sure that he at least uttered the phrase "no new wars" at least once on the campaign trail. Maybe he didn't specifically say that, but he sure as shit did not knock down other people chanting "no new wars, no new wars, no new wars." And people are like, he never said that. He's always said Iran can't have a nuke and better. And like the fact, the statement Iran cannot have nukes does not necessarily mean so we're going to go in and do regime change. Let's just clear that up. I know for a fact that he said multiple times over a long period of time that Iran can't have a nuke. Fine. That doesn't necessarily mean this is the only way to go, especially since we're now seeing we just kind of want to roll back and get a do-over.
That's just a total reversal of policy on that. And this has people wondering who's making these decisions. I don't need to get into that now, but we're not even getting consistency on the messaging in the last couple of weeks. The strait is closed. It's not closed. We've won the war. The war's not over. We need to go in. Nobody really knows. And by the way, I think Trump does that strategically. But nonetheless, the truth is that we don't get any honesty from this administration. It just
that's fair. That is like you to say that Trump is purposely being purposely obfuscating what it is that is going on. Maybe that is advantageous, but you can't say that and then be the administration that's all about transparency. Can't have your cake and eat it too.
Doesn't add up. And as far as the strategy with China and Russia, I'd like to think that this is all going to work out in our favor. I'd like to think that that's the play that Trump is making. However, it doesn't appear to be going in our favor. I think that most of the world is looking at the foreign policy of this administration, and they're seeing it as very, very favorable to Israel, which is essentially a pariah of the entire international community. And so instead of perhaps these countries maybe driving away from Russia and China, I think they're driving to China and Russia. And away from the United States because of Trump's aggression, again, in the Middle East, as the world views it, on behalf of Israel.
I don't know about all of that.
As far as the Dems...
I forget who it was. I think it was in an Ab and Preach video, maybe, something like that, where... I don't remember. It was somewhere. It was some girl on some podcast was talking about, what you mean? If I want my cake, I'm going to eat it. It's like, no, honey. That's not... what that I know you're joking, but I like, honey, that's not what that means. It means if you eat your cake, you don't have a cake anymore.
Stupid. Hamstringing Trump. I think that happened a lot in the first administration. I'm not really seeing as much of it in this administration. But this gets back to the deep state. I thought we were talking about criminals. I thought we were talking about the Obama administration committing treason. We were talking about them illegally spying. And yet now President Trump says, I'm
Shout out to you guys for all the likes. Didn't even have to ask. I appreciate you.
okay to give up my liberties for safety. I'm okay with them illegally spying on you. That doesn't really sit well with me. And I think the Dems are going to look at that very favorably when we get to the midterms. Israel does have a nuke. It is it's a violation of the nuclear proliferation agreement. They're not supposed to have one. Everybody knows they have it. In fact, technically, they shouldn't even be our ally because they have a nuclear weapon, but somehow they're above all of these rules. Now, again,
That's a rule that no one else, what about, wait a minute, what? Hold on. Someone said that Israel should not be a U.S. ally based on the fact that they have nuclear capabilities. Are we not allied with other countries that have one? Or maybe, does this have anything to do with NATO, or what's the other thing? You know what I mean. Yeah, so having nuclear weapons by itself is not a reason the U.S. avoids alliances. Yeah, all of them. And of course, Israel. Nuclear ambiguity. Israel, widely understood to possess nuclear weapons, has long followed a policy of not officially confirming or denying them. Strategic ambiguity. I don't like it. Some people argue U.S. should avoid close alliances with any nuclear regional power because of the escalation risk, especially in a volatile region, like the Middle East. The concern is less they have nukes and more could the U.S. get dragged into a broader conflict involving the nuclear state. Oh, you mean like right now? This is why I was asking about NATO, and like maybe the idea being if you are not in NATO and you have a nuke, then you're not an ally. So Israel not a NATO, caller idea. The U.S. has a formal defense obligation to NATO members like the UK and France. Israel is a close U.S. partner, receives military aid, and wait, too much bullshit, but there's no NATO-style automatic legal requirement that the U.S. go to war for Israel. So if someone says we shouldn't ally with Israel because they have nukes, that's not consistent with how the U.S. treats other nuclear powers. The real debate is about Middle East strategy, military aid, treaty obligations, regional stability, or perceived double standards, not the mere fact. Okay, fair enough, but yeah, that seems like he kind of just threw that out there as if it's like, oh well, they got a nuke, so we love you, Jesus. If you has the option to love your show, I'm pretty sure we'd all choose that one. Well, thank you. We do have the heart and the emojis in the chat. The little the party one. We got the 100. The laughing, all those things. Spam that shit. Spam that shit. And of course, God bless the big booty Latinos. Oh, yeah. So doesn't it look normal again with a black shirt? When I had the gray shirt on, remember how red the fucking light was? Let's try this. I got a piece of paper towel here. See? Look at the difference. Look at the lamp when I have it up. That's crazy. I knew it looked weird. I'm never wearing white on camera again. All right, where are we at here?
Agreement. They're not supposed to have one. Everybody knows they have it. In fact, technically, they shouldn't even be our ally because they have a nuclear weapon, but somehow they're above all of these rules. Now, again, I'm not here to take any ground in defense of Iran, but I will point out the fact that Israel is famous for repatriating pedophiles. That is a fact. Everybody knows it.
I have not heard this specific argument. That does not surprise me at all, but I am interested to get into that. Yeah, right. I think it's even weirder how I knew exactly immediately. I was like, the lighting is off, and somehow I knew immediately it was because of the shirt. It's like, all right, I'm done. Shout out to Real Black Betty in the building. Welcome to the party. Nirvana said, "Did the debates you were hosting go well?" I was not hosting; I was judging. But yeah, they were pretty cool. And you guys should go check that out. Interesting debates. Maybe we'll cover them on Wednesday. I don't know. They were about mutual combat, vigilante violence. The first one was kind of boring. I don't even remember what it was, but those two were interesting. So we'll see. All right, diving back into Israel
For repatriating pedophiles. That is a fact. Everybody knows it. American pedophiles are able to flee to Israel and get safe harbor there. We have many instances of this. Now, the Epstein files, I don't know how deep we want to go into this. This one is a little
get them real deep.
Confusing to me. You say, show me evidence that there is a pedophile ring. Well, I would slap down on the table, not even 50% of the Epstein files. We don't even know how many we've gotten, but it's 50% max. There's not a
max. There's another 3 million pages out there. Shout out to Real Black Betty with the $2 make you holla. Thank you. So very much. Come on, move your neck, you fucking bitch. There you go. Said feed the mod boss, please. Fed. Thank you. So very much. And remember, guys, every donation not only comes with a treat for Morty, but goes to our weekly movie night goal, which we had a double feature last night. And of course, the stream goal. If we get to the 15 donations in total or a $75 total, then Morty gets an extra special treat with some peanut butter, and I have to do my puny man push-ups. Thank you so very much.
Files. We don't even know how many we've gotten, but it's 50% max. There's not a single Iranian in the files, not a single one. Now, there is a certain group of people that are in there, but we don't need to get into that. But they all are rich. And they're not in prison, and that's where they should be. So I don't really want to have to think about Iran's cultural issues. These are Americans and people that were using them for blackmail to get.
This is exactly what I'm saying. And if Owen doesn't go down this road and show the hypocrisy of the irony of Andrew trying to show Owen's hypocrisy, you found that? Then I'm going to be disappointed. They're like, oh, well, you don't care about it. Trump, of course, cares about the pedophiles, just not the pedophiles that are hurting Americans. We just care about the PDFs that are diddling kids in Israel.
Get leverage over our country.
And
That's
Iran.
how most people perceive these Epstein files, of which we don't even have the entire files. But in them, we see references, what appear to be killing people, taking women, young women, babies as sex slaves. Who knows what else is going on in these files? There's very obvious code language. I know this. If I was able to get one of my kids' cell phones and I'm reading through this cell phone and they keep talking about pizza and grape soda and jerky, I'm going to pull one of them aside and I'm going to say, hey, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I remember being in high school and college, and we're like, "Yo, can I get 3 T-shirts?" Yeah, that'll be $120. Yeah, okay, I got those T-shirts for you, bro. They know. What song is that? They know. That's gonna be stuck in my head forever. Please, somebody know that song. Please, somebody know what that's from. They know. That's the only thing I got. That little part. Please help me.
And jerky, I'm going to pull one of them aside and I'm going to say, hey, what are you talking about? And if they say, oh, I'm just a pizza connoisseur. Me and my friends just make beef jerky and eat grape soda. I'm going to say, bullshit. Tell me what the hell you're talking about. If I see you saying, I'm going to get pot from my friend, I know you're not talking about a potted plant. I know you're talking about drugs. So it's obvious the same thing is going on in these emails. Where is the investigation? If your kid brought that to you, you would not believe them for 1 second. You'd say this is clearly code language and I'm going to investigate what it is. I think we should continue to investigate these Epstein files instead of continuing to cover them up, because I do think there is a there, as most other Americans do. And
Hell fucking yes. Dilly dilly. To not just be like, well, Trump said who cares, so I guess nobody cares anymore. I guess all that stuff was just bullshit. I guess we should just go blow up people in Iran. What, are you that gay? Are you that gay that you care so much about this? Are you that gay that you don't want to go blow up people? That seems to be the vibe.
that's something that Trump campaigned on and many of his administration talked about for years.
And time. With that, we're going to jump into the crossfire. This is 40 minutes. So this is
All right,
up to you guys.
guys.
If it gets too rocky, I'm going to jump in and put it into 90-second responses. So the floor is yours, gentlemen, for open dialogue.
So I wanted to start.
Real quick before we start, guys, if you are new here, please do hit that subscribe. I am live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and sometimes whenever I feel like it, just like King was saying, I've been grinding and like 4 to 6 days a week. So come on through, and of course, you know that YouTube sucks with those notifications, so you may as well ring the bell so you never miss an Indian Jesus live party ever. Again, let's fucking do it. Let's do it live.
Start, if we could, with Israeli repatriation of pedophiles. So you and I both agree that this happens and it's abhorrent. Do you know
Is that what it is? Okay.
what the numbers are, roughly?
The last story I read was a CBS story. It was a couple dozen, I think.
I think total that I could find, I was being as charitable to your view as I could, it's about 200. That's a lot. It's a significant amount. But it's nothing in comparison to the Catholic Church.
Sorry, I got it. This is gonna fuck with me. This is gonna fuck with me all night. Shorty low. Oh, it's Dano. D-E-Y. Dana. And of course, we're gonna get a fucking ad.
Millions of views earned. But how do I
How
earn
well
extra?
can you hear this? All right.
YouTube
That I was thinking that it would be that. Yeah, no, it's not that. What is headlines? No, that sounds more like the oh god damn it. Sorry, it's gonna fuck with me all fucking night. There you go. I don't want it to fuck. Well, so I'll wait till they. Yup. Hey, hey. I just need the fucking. They know. All right, there you go. Thank you, sir. What did I say? I have no idea what I just said. What did I expand on? You always twerking, bro. You always twerking. Well, yeah. What did I? Get me back on track. What did I say? All right. Diving back in.
I was being as charitable to your view as I could. It's about 200. That's a lot. It's a significant amount. But it's nothing in comparison to the Catholic Church. Nothing. Which is somewhere around 100,000.
True. Fuck the Catholic Church as they fuck little boys.
Children, perhaps, or more. When we talk about this idea of pedophilia here in the
And I love how, well, I'm an ortho bro, so, you know, the Catholic Church, that has nothing to do with me. It's not like we believe 99.999999999% the same things. But your club that believes all of this stuff is the bad one. But mine, they know.
the United States, Owen. This is my big issue with this, is that there's always a red herring, right? The red herring is, well, Israel repatriates pedophiles. It's like, yeah, that's true.
You think that. But he sleeps with one eye open. Look at that.
True. So does the United States in a way, though. We have passport bros who go to Malaysia, they have sex with underage kids, and then they come back here. It's the same exact principle applied. The only difference is
Right. So you would think that Owen is for that or against that? And more importantly, you think that Trump is for or against that? And then follow up to that. Okay, if he's not okay with it, is it reasonable to use the U.S. military to shut down the passport bros? This is my frustration with the Crucible crew people. Like, they just act like Andrew is some fucking god, ironically. Like, the idolatry is it's crazy. It's crazy. And then, I mean, it's one thing to see it from, if you're a Christian and you're seeing, oh, this sect of Christians and this is Christian, whatever. But from the outside, it's fucking weird. It's fucking weird. It's like two furries. It's like two furries going at it and be like, well, those furries, they're nasty, but our furry group is totally cool. Like, okay, bro. A boot sloot? What even is that? See, the thing is, I only have limited space, so my own sounds, I can say my own sounds. So I just need 999. That's why I got rid of the oh hell no to put in, because that's a specific sound, and that's not me. And I mean, I could oh god, but it doesn't hit the same, I don't disagree with you. But I think that's because he has so many fucking Crucible simps around him all the fucking time. Ooh. Okay. I'm not sure what the prize will be. But there will be a prize. Listen carefully. If you can call out the voice that we all recognize, and I'm not talking about Rob Noor or Rachel Wilson. You have to be able to call out the voice. If you call out the voice, and you'll know what we mean when you hear the voice. If you call out the voice, then you'll get some kind of prize. We'll figure it out. I don't know. That big dick energy. Some of us got it, and some of you don't. King Nirvana said the people in the cult, deep needs to what? Try that one again. I kind of think I know what you're saying, but try it again. He said furries are racist against non-furry animals like turtles. I've never seen a turtle persona except for the movie Master of Disguise. Are we not turtly enough for the Turtle Club? Real Black Betty said Andrew didn't say it was okay, just that every country doesn't, and most of the Jews crowd only focus on Israel. Is that what he said? I don't think that's what he said. Inside the cult deeply. People are people are deeply in the cult. Need dudes to follow hard. Yep. A lot of little gay shit going on. Which one? The last. We got that.
What?
And then the new one.
Again.
All right. Let's dive back in.
with underage kids, and then they come back here. It's the same exact principle applied. The only difference is there's no official right of return. There doesn't need to be. They're already U.S. citizens. But when we're talking about this, we know where the groups of pedophiles are. We've known this for years. The Catholic Church, for instance, again, part of one of the largest pedophilic scandals in the world.
But bro, like, this is so disingenuous, because if Trump was like, all right, we're cracking down on the Catholic Church, you think that Andrew Wilson, of all people, would be like, yeah, let's go get those other type of Christian. Come on, bro. Come on. Don't fucking piss on me and tell me it's fucking raining. We need to get after the Catholic Church. Shut up. You would cry and milk that for everything. Okay, well, even though we have the better ideology, they're still our Christian brethren. So, blah, 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 blah. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, you fat fuck. Shout out to Liberty Plus TV in the building. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. Yeah, but it's it's again. But we'll work on it. We'll work on it. If we need to switch it out, we'll switch it out. All right, dive back in.
The Catholic Church, for instance, again, part of one of the largest pedophilic scandals in the world. Which church do you belong to again? Is it Catholic?
I have no qualms with what you're saying about the Catholic Church, whether I identify as one or not. So go ahead. I will sit here all day as a confirmed Catholic and ridicule their pedophilia.
Yeah, I'm just saying that when you
based, fucking based. That was such a slimy, and I said that before, but this is yet again a slimy move from something from Andrew that is just because of the fact that this is the debate and not accurately representing his views. Put a one in the chat if you actually believe that if the government was starting to crack down on the Catholic Church because of anything really, that Andrew would be in favor of it.
We use the red herring of the Israeli
projection. Red herring. That's what you just did.
Catholic and ridicule their pedophilia.
Yeah, I'm just saying that when you use the red herring of the Israeli repatriation.
How is it a red herring if it's true?
Because the red herring happens when you say.
Well, I mean, just because it's true doesn't mean it's not a red herring. A red herring just means that that's not really relevant to the debate. And one step further than a non sequitur. A non sequitur is just like, oh, that doesn't really matter. But the fuck was it? Oh, the red herring is when you're bringing something that's not relevant to specifically derail the conversation. So it could still be true and a red herring.
How is it a red herring if it's true?
Because the red herring happens.
Bull's still going.
It's hundreds?
When you say, hey, wait a second. Yeah, hundreds.
So it's a real thing. So it's not a red herring.
No, the red herring portion of it is when you obfuscate away from the arguments on the Epstein files as though there's a global cabal of pedophiles. I point out.
There is. Shout out to Real Black Betty. Thank you so very, very much. And yeah, hit that poll. It is still rolling. I'm going to keep it up for a little while. Thank you so very, very much.
From the argument on the Epstein files as though there's a global cabal of pedophiles. I point out in Iran, there's an open cabal of pedophiles. You say, well, Israel harbors pedophiles too. It's like, no, they don't have official policy for pedophilia, dude.
Hold on a second. You just admitted you're talking about people that have been actually charged with crimes of pedophilia that Israel knowingly takes in. They are very well aware.
In every instance.
So they are very well aware.
Sometimes it's suspected. One of the big key ones was an Australian case, I'm sure you're familiar with. That was one of the big key ones, but it's not always the case that they're charged with anything. There, lots of them are just suspected of this.
There was just
only Andrew, right? Only Andrew. Shout out to Equality and Deference because vagina. Over on Rumble, welcome to the party. Said, liked, and shared. Thank you so very, very much. You guys know that stuff is free. It's easy. It just takes a second, and it helps out the channel so very, very much. It does not even matter if you think anybody's going to click on the link that you share. Just by you telling the platform you want more people to see it, they will show it to more people. Welcome to the party. We got your buddy. Shroyer destroyed Woot Andrew and the sycophant in this debate. We'll see if we agree. We just got into the open debate. So let's back it up a little bit and dive back.
It was an Australian case I'm sure you're familiar with. That was one of the big key ones, but it's not always the case that they're charged with anything. There, lots of them are just suspected of this.
There was just an IDF security official, Alexandrovich, who just got charged, caught in a bust, and he fled over there. He's gone.
Of course, but you're going to
give me a comparable story this year to the Catholic Church.
You can find the same thing.
Show me the Catholic Church. Show me the Catholic Church finding a pedophile and saying, "Come to the Catholic Church."
They moved into other churches. What are you talking?
Yeah, I mean, come on, bro. Let's not act like the Catholic Church doesn't do that. Let's also not act like you want the government to come down on the Catholic Church. both sides are well, actually no, I think that Owen explicitly said, he's like, yeah, I'm a Catholic and fuck the Catholic PDF stuff. Fair enough. Quality said, tongue in cheek, I'm just mocking Captain Humility. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Catholic Church finding
I mean, hey, spam them. Let them know. Let them know. Before we dive back in, Larry said it's embarrassing as fuck. I don't really get how Christians can be comfortable lying like that. Not exactly charitable, but I don't lie or deceive people. It's almost like it's the opposite of the way that it should be, right? But no. The Christians, they're just the bee's knees. The bee's knees. I say we should totally bomb the Vatican and shit. Yeah, like, okay, let's take a more extreme example there, but fine. You want to go after the Catholic Church, and you're saying that you care about PDF stuff like that? Then why aren't you calling for that? It's almost like you're just saying it because it's a debate. And this is why I've backed away from doing these kind of debates. Like, if there's something that comes up, like as you know, the election season kicks up, there's going to be a lot more culture war stuff, and that's my thing. Like, I'm not I mean, I had the debate on Trump being the best president, but I'm not debating Iran, I'm not debating Israel, I'm not debating the economy. Those are I don't know enough about those things, and I don't care to pretend that I do. I think I occupy a very specific lane of being an on-ramp for people who maybe don't necessarily have the time to get into politics, and or people who want to be better at articulating their ideas and understanding other people without getting so enraged. And so if I can do that, that's what I want to do. But like I said, as the culture war kicks up, if there's stuff like the Alex Preddy thing that I did with who's that chick that had the face mask and everything, I'm down for that. But the notion of just like, okay, let's debate because I want to debate, doesn't really interest me.
Story this year to the Catholic Church.
You can find the same thing.
Show me the Catholic Church. Show me the Catholic Church finding a pedophile and saying, "Come to the Catholic Church."
They moved them to other churches. What are you talking about?
To
allow them to continue to offend hundreds of thousands of cases.
So show me one name.
Mm-hmm.
I'm supposed to remember every name of every bishop?
I just gave you one.
Oh, Andrew. So I better not ever hear you ever ask for a specific example of anything ever again. If you're going to use that as, you say, like, this is a common thing where people say, like, oh, well, you say misogynist stuff. I'm like, okay, what did I say? And they'll be like, I don't remember exactly. I don't follow you. I don't, I'm like, okay, so you can't even come up with one example. And now we're talking about the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church moving priests who have raped little kids that we know for sure is happening. It's been well documented. Okay, give me a name.
Come on, man.
Fair enough. I don't expect you to remember every fucking priest that's been moved in the Catholic Church. But then the principle must stand that just because I can't name it right in this moment does not mean that it didn't happen. I'm not even saying that he's misogynistic. I'm just saying the argumentation of because you can't name it in this moment, it doesn't exist. I better not ever hear that again. Yeah. That's what I said. Here, I'll just post it.
Cases.
So show me one name.
I'm supposed to remember every name of every bishop?
I just gave you one name in the last year. Tom Alexandrovich, IDF
Are you
security
denying
official,
that the
fled to
Catholic
Israel.
Church doesn't move around pedophiles?
No, I just said they do. I can talk about the Catholic Church all day long.
Then why are you
But we're
arguing
talking about the Trump administration dealing with the Epstein files. That's what we're talking about.
So as we're diving into the
Hey, we got Boggs in the building. Welcome to the party. It'll be interesting to see a left-wing perspective on two right-wingers arguing over Trump. Welcome to the party, sir.
About the Trump administration dealing with the Epstein files. That's what we're talking about.
So as we're diving into the Epstein files, give me your biggest piece of proof that Donald Trump in any way knew about any pedophilia, and name actual names of people who you're willing to say are—
Oh, so now he has to name names, but you don't have to name names. Inconvenient that came up 5 seconds later. Give me any. You can't name anything that happened, so Epstein is not a problem at all. But Andrew, you can't name anything about the Catholic Church, so does that mean that the Catholic Church isn't doing it?
Come on, man.
These are the godly, principled people. Everything they think is so direct from God.
Are pedophiles in that administration? Go ahead.
Okay, I never made either one of those.
And there you go. So Owen should have been like, wait. So I just made a claim, and I asked you for an example, and you couldn't give an example, but you're still sticking to it. Now you're asking me to give you an example, and I can't give you an example, but because I can't give you an example, the argument doesn't work. Rules for thee, but not for thee.
Claims,
Exactly.
But I will respond to your
Exactly.
question. Howard Lutnick lied when he said he hadn't been to the island since he found out. He got caught lying. He took his family there. This was after Epstein had already been a convicted pedophile. Now, if Donald Trump wants to claim he has plausible deniability as far as Epstein's activities are concerned, I suppose that's fair
Are you
enough.
even claiming that guy's a pedophile?
Well, you know what? If you want to talk about the things Trump has said about
Hang on,
his
answer
daughter
the question
Ivanka,
before
we can
you
talk about
obfuscate.
it. We can talk about
Answer the
Donald.
The answer to the question is no, I don't know for sure, because that is the issue that I'm appealing to. Not necessarily that there is such a pedophilic cabal, but that we were promised evidence on that, and I don't have the evidence to give you. The fact that there's not the evidence here to either say yes there was or no there wasn't is the failure. That is the failure of the Trump administration. Now, let's not pretend that every other administration that since Epstein's been whatever he was didn't do the same. But we're not talking about them. The question is, was the Trump presidency successful? And so you don't need to act like the Epstein stuff is no big deal in order to say that he's a successful president. Yet again, I will say that we don't measure or we don't use the same metrics to judge your best friend, your wife, your neighbor, and politicians. It's a completely different thing. I'm down. Like I said, Trump has always sucked. He kind of did the border. So are you open borders? Because what he did to the border was fucking amazing. His wall and border are both done poorly. All right. I thought you were saying you were feeling right-wingy, and now you're just going to throw out bullshit talking points as if you don't know that the entire establishment was against him. Come on, man. You know better than that.
You know what? If you want to talk about the things Trump has said about
Hang on,
his daughter
answer the question
Ivanka,
before
we can
you
talk about
obfuscate.
it. We can talk about
Answer the
Donald
question.
Trump. Hold on a second.
Are
We
you
can
going to call that guy a pedophile?
Have
or
I
no?
called Trump a pedophile once?
Well, this is why I'm getting clarification.
The answer
on
is
this.
no.
The reason I'm getting
The answer is
clarification
no.
is because on the Epstein files, people refuse to separate mythology from fact. And there's a lot of mythology here.
I'll agree with that. That some people who are on, we'll say, this side of wanting, believing in that Epstein was a thing. Okay, yeah, there's definitely people injecting bullshit, but that's because we don't have the evidence. Cody said, and all those PDF muzzies had to do is say, God told me to do it. Because my divine command theory. Yeah, right? It's like, well, how do you know that you have the right God? Well, I just have faith. So do they.
And this mythology that you guys continuously talk about, that Trump is in some way associated with this global cabal of satanic pedophiles, but you never name names, you never give evidence. Your only evidence is they don't give us evidence. Why would you trust the evidence that these people give you anyway? Why would you even trust that anyway? You don't trust.
Why? What do you mean? Why would I trust emails directly from the people saying I'm going to Great Britain? What is this argument? So you don't trust the government. So if you see emails from people who are in the government, you shouldn't trust it because it's the government. What are you talking about, bro?
Trust them, the evidence that they've given you so far. So why is it always the demand is like, I want endless evidence of a thing that we always make claims about, but can never demonstrate?
Because they're hiding it. Why are we asking for it? Why do we even know about it? Because they promised to fucking let it out and give us all the evidence. That's why, Andrew. It's almost It's almost like the government lied. It's almost like people are upset that the government lied. Now, that doesn't make a presidency unsuccessful, but the government's pretty fucking gay.
So Trump is obviously maybe mentioned more than anyone else in the files. If you want to claim that he has nothing to show illegal in the files, that's fine. Howard Lutnick, however, lied when he said he hadn't been there. He is still in the Trump administration. He was just running point for their meeting at the Oval Office just last week. And he
Yep. Shout out to Mighty Starlog. Welcome to the party. So Andrew's bad faith. His debates have been getting increasingly worse lately. That'll be interesting. So that's the kind of thing, like, that's why I made the Indian Jesus 2026 playlist. And all these streams go on there. So on New Year's, we're going to go, just run through and be like, oh, remember when we did that? Remember when we did that? So actually, this is going to get its own screenshot, which also will be, we'll be looking through the screenshots of your guys' chats and stuff. And we're gonna, we'll check out some of the older ones, check out some of the newer ones, and we'll see if that came true. But yeah, I've been saying for a while that I much prefer Rachel to Andrew. Like, as somebody who sat in front of them both face to face, like I could reach out and touch them if I wanted to. The fact that in a debate context, like Rachel is way better at having the conversation. Andrew might be better at winning, but that only matters in the context of the debate itself. Once the debate is over, whether you won or lost is irrelevant. What you actually did and how you comported yourself matters way more. David said, if you don't trust the government, why would you trust evidence given to you by the government? How hard is it to fake emails? Okay, well, I mean, you could definitely make that argument. But that's not what Andrew's saying. Like, if you want to say, okay, well, you shouldn't trust this because of this, that, and the other. It's fake. Okay. But, I mean, we have ways of determining whether emails are real or fake that don't require us going through the government. Once we have that, then private entities can look and see, I don't know how the fuck it works with like IP addresses and shit like that. The metadata. It's not, this isn't a new concept. We're not like, well, did somebody make those up or I don't know. Like, yeah, if you just fucking send out a bunch of bullshit, then we don't know. But if there was an active investigation, then we wouldn't have to worry about fake emails because we could see that they were legitimate based on whatever fucking metrics we use to determine whether or not it's a real email or not. It's only entertaining when Andrew's destroying your enemies. Watching infighting like this is like watching your parents arguing about an affair, but damn right they're guilty. Government is just a tool to control the goyim. You are all cattle. Fair enough. But I mean, I disagree. I think it's I find way more value when two people who are in the same camp argue about something. Like, this is why with Atheist for Liberty, I'm trying to get atheist on atheist debates that are not about religion, because those are the conversations that really everybody knows, like the atheist versus the Christian, or the atheist versus this, or the Muslim, or whatever. That conversation's been had a million bajillion times, and it just further polarizes everybody to be like, "Yep, I'm on this team. Yep, my team won again." But you get two atheists talking about politics. You get two atheists talking about art. You get two atheists talking about fucking movies or whatever it is. Then you are able to see, oh, okay. It's not just a monolith. Someone on the left can watch this and be like, oh, okay. So, I mean, I don't agree with either of them, but they're very different perspectives. Box said, Rachel seems to get attached. It's easy to defend. It's harder to make a point people agree with. I don't know if I agree with that. Oh yeah. So if you guys missed it, when I on Saturday when I was wearing the gray hoodie, and we're like, what's going on with the lighting? And I was like, I'm pretty sure it has to do with the shirt, because I always wear one of the shirts, one of the TIJ shirts, and they're all black. And so we're like, all right, let's test it. Look at the lamp here was the big thing. And I was like, all right, let's test it. Crazy. White balancing, as they say. All right. Let's grab a few more here. Yep. Infighting is genuine healthy. Infighting like this is fucked up. I don't agree. I think there's a lot of people who are, trying to figure out where they fall in terms of Trump 2.0. And some people are like, Trump 2.0 is the same as Trump 1.0 to me. Fair enough. I see a big difference. And so people having this invite, like I don't disagree that there's bad faith going on here, but I think there's value here. It's great to see atheists disagreeing about politics or ethics, to see how different us atheists all can be.
Bingo.
Yep. And so we were on. I was judging the horseradish debates in the DMZ. And like I said, that's more of a left-wing platform. They're on Twitch, all that kind of stuff. And I was like, hey, I'm trying to get this going. So if you're down, if you're interested in debating other atheists on stuff that is not religion, let me know. Because I am, I'm friends with the president. I'm trying to, get it going. I would love to be able to go back to just calling myself an agnostic atheist, because that's what the words mean. But you Christians are too crazy, so I got to go with non-theist, and then you're all fine. Dilly fucking dilly.
He was just running point for their meeting at the Oval Office just last week, and he's in the files taking his kids to Epstein Island. So would you take your kids to Epstein Island?
Well, okay, so are you saying at the time there was media scrutiny that this was a pedophilic island?
Yes, 100%. 100%. Epstein had already been charged. He'd already been in jail.
Are you saying this?
So, yeah, Equality is asking to David, is any evidence against the government goons valid then? How do we know that the government is actually bad if any evidence from the government is invalid? Interesting. Shout out to Boss. Quit that big 5. Thank you. So very, very much, sir. Let's get Morty his treat. Of course, every donation comes with a treat for the Overlord. Thank you so very, very much. Said, does God exist? Does he not? Who the hell care? I do. I very much care. We got shit to attend to here and now. If he was real, he would want us to attend to it. That I do agree with. That I do agree with. Thank you so very, very much, sir. Getting us up to almost 20 points on our first night. Thank you so very, very much. And everybody's loving it. Hey, shout out to Patrick. Welcome to the party. So the problem is people feel the need to label everything. Too many differing opinions to label everything. I agree with you. However, I do think it is important that these labels exist and people agree on what they mean, because it cuts down on the fluff of talking about the actual issues. And so, for example, if we're actually trying to talk about, if we're actually trying to talk about abortion, and then we get into the Christian versus the atheist aspect of that. And Andrew, well, what are you even basing your morality on that says we should or shouldn't do this? Let's say, for example, we have a pro-life atheist and a pro-choice, pro-abortion Christian. They could use that same argument, and it gets bogged down. And so, while that might happen either way, I think having generally understood categories, you can be like, okay, I'm a Christian pro-lifer or a Christian pro-choicer or whatever. That kind of moves some of the bullshit out of the way, so we can actually talk about what we're trying to talk about. But again, I do definitely agree that people overdo it in trying to label things. Quali says pro-life for the win. Welcome. Thank you again, Bucks. Let's dive back in.
Well, okay, so are you saying at the time there was media scrutiny that this was a pedophilic island?
Yes, 100%. 100%. Epstein had already been charged. He'd already been in jail.
Are you saying this guy took his kids to the island to get them raped?
I don't know what he took his kids to the island for.
you
He
don't
denied
know.
it.
Exactly.
He
By the
denied
way, by the way,
And so, like, there would be like, I'm not claiming anything specifically. Do you not see that it is? Do you not think that it is somewhat odd to take your children to a known pedophile's island? Like, can we not pretend that just, oh, you don't, this is exactly the source bullshit of the left. It's like, we don't need a source to see that trans and kids is a bad thing. We have them now, but we don't need them. We never did. And now that we did, we're like, oh, okay, well, this is some woke bullshit.
I don't know what he took his kids to the island for.
you
He
don't
denied
know.
it. He
By the
denied
way,
it.
by the way,
He denied
this
it.
It was probably just for a business meeting, right?
this again
He
is
lied.
absence of evidence means that that's evidence. That's
Oh, kind of like when you couldn't talk about the Catholic Church and you didn't have anyone that you could name. So absence of evidence is not evidence. Rules for thee, but not for me.
not evidence.
No,
you
no,
guys
no. Did
never
Howard
will
Lutnick,
actually
hold on.
name.
Did Howard Lutnick go to the island?
I'm not sure.
He admitted it. He's in the files.
Yeah,
He
I'm
took
not,
his kids.
I'm not sure on that particular, but it's irrelevant, the particular, because even if I grant the particular, you won't actually call the guy a pedo because you don't have evidence. You never have evidence. Just
Why is that? Where is the evidence? Does the evidence exist or does the evidence not exist? Do we know if the evidence exists or do we know if the evidence doesn't exist? Were we promised evidence that may or may not exist? Come on, Owen. Come on, Owen. You fucking gripers.
claims. Claim. No evidence for it. Now, I'm willing to cede a bunch of points to you. If you can show me some evidence of it, happy to do it.
So you-
Trump
wait,
was,
hold on.
hang
Are
on,
you
I'm almost
contending-
done.
are you
Trump was
contending-
actually right. He claimed that the Democrats were going to use the talking point.
That's not what he said. He said it's a Democrat hoax. That's not what he said. He said it's a Democrat hoax. He could have easily said, look, the Democrat, if he had just said, okay, my name's going to show up. You know how popular I am, the best president ever. They can't stop talking about me. Then the hoax part of, oh, see, Epstein or Trump is in the Epstein files a million bajillion times. He could have just gotten ahead of that, and we all would have believed him. But he says, no, that's a Democrat hoax. That's a Democrat hoax. Like, come on, bro. Come on.
That, Trump's a pedophile. Trump's covering for pedophiles, the whole 9 yards. He says, yeah, that's a hoax. Whole thing's a damn hoax. And it is. The whole damn thing is a hoax. They've been calling.
No, it's not. So then why was Ghislaine Maxwell arrested? Why was Jeffrey Epstein arrested again? Just for funsies?
Calling this guy a pedophile? You just said he's named in the, how many times is he named in the Epstein files? That's a Democrat talking point. But what's he named in the Epstein files for actually doing? What?
Well, there are.
So, I mean, hopefully he gives a specific answer here because, yes, exactly. The idea isn't that, oh, your name is mentioned therefore. It is what did you say? If you're constantly hitting up Epstein like, yo, I'm trying to come to the island to do that shady shit. They'd be like, oh, well, how do you trust this evidence?
Come on, man.
Cope.
FBI investigations that have some pretty serious claims. They never
Not
manifested
credible.
anything.
They
That's fine.
literally
That's
say
fine.
not credible.
So we're not here to have a debate over the Epstein files. But
You
I
brought
do,
it up as
but
a
I
reason
do
he's a
find it
failure.
odd. No, you are the one that brought it up. But I do find it odd that you're going to pretend like Howard Lutnick didn't lie about going to the island after Epstein was
I'll
convicted
even
and took his
see
kids.
the point.
Are
Even
you
if
going
I
to tell
do
me?
see
Hold
the
on a second.
point, it doesn't help your
Are you
points.
going to tell me? Are you going to tell me that Donald Trump was not friends with Jeffrey Epstein?
He was initially friends
Okay.
with Jeffrey
So-
Epstein.
so
Right.
he-
So this is not helping you, Owen, because like this is going further into Andrew's argument that you're just kind of speaking to the mythology. And so like, okay, they were friends at some point and this happened. His point is that we don't know. You were doing good when you were like, all right, let's leave this behind because clearly, you're framing this in a way that I can't argue against. But now this is getting into, well, Trump was friends with him. That's a Democrat talking point. The fact that he's hiding the files might be a lot of what the left is talking about, but they also say the sky is blue.
He also banned him from his properties.
That's fine, and he might have helped bring him in.
Hang on, he banned him from his properties, and he was also front and center at pointing out to people that Epstein was a creep. That's one. And
so why would we even believe him? Why would you believe him? He's in the government, right? So why would you even believe the government? Do you see how good he is at the game? He's good at the game. But when you have the opportunity to pause it and go sentence by sentence, it don't make no fucking sense. It don't make no fucking sense.
Everything that's mentioned in the files.
Oh, you think that's an accident, or you think that's on purpose?
Michael Tracy has done great work on this. He's gone through them ad nauseum.
So
the things which are put in there about Trump.
And that's on Owen. That's on Owen. You have to, I mean, it's not like you don't know who the fuck Andrew Wilson is. You have to go into a debate with a Wilson playing a game. You are not going to get a good faith conversation on stage with a Wilson. That is not going to happen. I think Rachel's better at it than Andrew is. But they are playing the game. This is their livelihood. This is their reputation. This is all they have. We're never going to be the type of Christian nationalist nation that they're pushing for. So it's just about keeping that message going through the debates. I mean, I haven't looked into it, but I would be surprised if the Crucible did a lot of canvassing or political action. Maybe not surprised, but if I had to bet whether or not that was a more than 20% of what the Crucible is, I'd bet no. I'd bet no. Let's go to a poll. So we got 18 votes on the debate prompt. Is the Trump presidency successful? 50% said yes. And second place said too early to tell, with no coming in third place. So the new poll is, do you think the Crucible makes a good attempt to be directly involved in politics? No, I want a specific number. Okay, so let's say, does the Crucible put more than 20% of earnings more than 20% to actually changing politics? I think it's a fair question. Do you think the Crucible should be puts more than 20% of earnings to actually changing politics? And that means if they make $1,000 on a stream, then $200 of that would go to setting up an event. The Crucible is Andrew's thing. He's the leader of that's his channel and his thing. The Crucible. That's Andrew Wilson. You live long enough to you die a hero, or you live long enough to become the villain. Well, I said, what does Andrew want? A video of Trump? Yeah, right. What does he want? A video of Trump fucking an underage? If the government has that stuff, do you think they would release it? No. But again, we don't need that stuff to be seen by the public. There are people who work in the, whether it's the FBI or the CIA or the HSI, whatever it is, that unfortunately for them do that day in and day out. And so it would be just another Tuesday. Instead of scrolling through P-Hub to make sure that there's no underage shit, they're just going through the e-files. I mean, maybe you got to work through lunch on that one, but this is not anything anything crazy that we're asking. We want to know what happened. All right. Black said, let us not trans the kids, but let us not be mean to the actual trans adults. Just a mutual respect kind of thing. Is that something that you feel needs to be said in this chat?
Are ridiculous on their face. And the claims from various people
Still moving the fucking camera.
about Trump are noted inside of these files most of the time as being not credible at all.
Here's what's credible. Alex Acosta is the one that cut Jeffrey Epstein his sweetheart deal. It was so bad of a deal that they had to re-examine it and rearrest Jeffrey Epstein and put him back in jail in New York City.
Which administration did that happen under?
Where he was ultimately killed.
Yeah, which administration did that happen under?
The Trump administration.
That's right. He got
which is actually
rearrested
starting
under
to
the
look
Trump
a little more
administration.
suspicious. It's actually starting to look a little more suspicious now. Yeah.
How is that more suspicious? So
He died in jail.
What administration?
Did he, though? I think he's still alive. I see any reason why we would expect that he and Ghislaine are not both on the island right now. Why would you think that? Why would you think that? What, because Kash Patel said it?
How did
Acosta,
he die in jail?
what administration did Acosta?
Trump's.
Was he in when he cut the deal?
He wasn't in office. Trump wasn't in office.
Yeah.
Acosta was an attorney.
Whose administration was that under?
Obama.
So Obama, we have Acosta, goes ahead and gives him the sweetheart deal, right, under Obama. Under the Trump administration, they rearrest Jeffrey Epstein. Isn't that amazing? The guy protecting the pedophiles.
So the person that Trump brought into his administration is.
So because he arrested somebody who did a crime, it doesn't matter that he's covering up the scandal. Got it.
Is the one that cut Jeffrey Epstein a sweetheart deal that no pedophile, child sex trafficker has ever seen before in their life. Such a sweetheart deal, they had to rearrest him again.
Yeah, they have seen it before in their life. First
So
of
look,
all,
whether Trump-
he wasn't even accused of pedophilia. What he was accused of was localized trafficking in Florida. And yes, people have.
Oh, my bad. My bad. It was just trafficking. It was just trafficking. My bad, Andrew. Oh, man. How dare I? My goodness.
They have seen it before in their life. First
So
of
look,
all,
whether Trump-
he wasn't even
hold on.
accused of pedophilia. What he was accused of was localized trafficking in Florida. And yes, people have been cut sweetheart deals for that. You're full of it.
Okay, so your stance is.
So wait, you agree that people who have done horrible things have been given sweetheart deals in the past, but this sweetheart deal is not a sweetheart deal because what does that mean? What point are you trying to get to? That other people have gotten sweetheart deals for trafficking. Therefore, Jeffrey Epstein, according to Andrew, was not a PDF? What? What? I thought this was Mr. Logic. That don't make no sense. Do you not trust the evidence the government is giving lunch? Well, it depends on what that evidence is, which is what Owen should have said a long time ago. Liberty said Epstein was involved in trans shit too. It's kind of linked to the debate. Andrew should be out there using his abilities to debate people and try to get the more files and actual arrests, not this. Dilly dilly. Yeah, all you gotta do is not any PDF stuff, just trafficking. If you do just trafficking, then it's okay, according to Andrew Wilson. Yikes.
Yes, people have been cut sweetheart deals for that. You're full of it.
Okay, so your stance is.
What are you talking about?
So your stance is Epstein was not a pedophile, and there's nothing in the Epstein files. Because I don't want to debate this the whole time.
I didn't say that. My stance is that there's bold claims.
The implication is, okay, what are you saying? When someone says, so you're saying this, I mean, maybe they're being, the fucking, what was her name? Kathy Newman with Jordan Peterson. So what you're saying is, but generally, when someone's like, so your position is this, that's a genuine question. It may be a tactic in terms of reframing, but it is a genuine question.
Files. Because I don't want to debate this the whole time.
I didn't say that. My stance is
that's why I asked you the question.
That there's bold claims which are made, and I can see you running from it. I don't blame you for running from the claims.
This isn't the debate. I'm not
don't
here
have
to,
evidence.
I mean, you're on a
Is it a failure of
This
Trump's
is
or not?
worse. Absolutely.
Well, then
Absolutely.
it's part of the debate.
There should be dozens of Epstein
Then
arrests.
it's part of the debate.
They are literally
Of who?
covering it up.
Tell me who.
Exactly. They've redacted the names.
Yes, exactly. Like what I mean, this is so retarded. What did Quality say? That's like saying some mob guy killed other mob guys, so they're super duper righteous as fuck. Pretty much. Pretty much. Pretty much. And Owen, what a failure on Owen to not see that. Like, call that out. You have to call those things out. He can see the bullshit, but you have to say it. You have to say it. Especially with Andrew Wilson, because his audience is already primed. Just like, oh, yep, he's right. If he sounds like he's confident, then he's got to be right. Even though he's talking bullshit. We're fucking 36 minutes in. And we have not gotten a single good point. But I'm certainly not going to blame the debater for debating well. So, Owen, you fucking up.
Who should we be arresting? Exactly.
I'd love
what does
to
that
know.
mean?
Why are all the names redacted from the files?
Because
Why haven't they
I'll
given
tell
us
you.
all the files?
I'll actually tell you. And if you'd done your due diligence, you would know this.
Oh,
Because we want to protect the victims.
because they're victims.
No. Because victims advocacy groups and lawyers have tied this thing up like nobody's business. And
How dare they?
again, Michael Tracy's done the
And no
research on
pedophiles
this.
go to jail.
Which pedophiles should go to jail?
The ones that they've redacted. So
What are their
Epstein-
names?
So
Exactly.
Epstein trafficked kids. To
They're redacted, Andrew. Do you know what redacted means? That was a good question when Owen was like, do you honestly believe that there's nothing wrong there? They know. Give me a couple more votes on this poll. Do you think the Crucible puts more than 20% of earnings to actually changing politics? Yes or no?
No, Epstein was getting kids.
So Epstein-
Ghislaine was trafficking kids to him.
Okay, so Epstein raped all the kids. No one else did.
Name a
Right.
single-
Yeah, exactly. That's the argument. Well, they redacted the name, so they shouldn't go to jail because we don't know who they are.
What?
What?
single person he trafficked a kid to.
They're all redacted from the files. What are you
The
talking about?
files
You
don't
can
even
see-
indicate
You
that.
can
Who?
see in the emails. He says, "I have girls. How old do you want them? I have girls. I don't like yellow. I want Russian." That's all right there.
That's not him. There's nothing to do with pedophilia, as far as you know. Show me some evidence.
As far as you know, it does.
Wait a second. Absence.
There you go. We don't have the evidence, so as far as you know, it's exactly what I'm saying. How do you guys not know who how do you guys know Andrew Wilson and not know about that he is the Crucible? That is his thing. Welcome to the party. So Andrew Wilson and co. Do you think Andrew Wilson and co. put more than 20% of the earnings to the to actually changing politics? I believe they have lists, but they're not. We'd have to measure them, not compare them against the actual list and stuff there. But because everything's redacted and or not released, then those lists are just hearsay, as far as I understand.
As far as you know, show me some evidence.
As far as you know, it does.
Wait a second. Absence of evidence is not evidence. Do you agree with that?
They're both Trump guys. So the prompt here is that has the Trump presidency been successful? And so Andrew is saying yes, it has been successful. Owen's saying no, it has not. Now I fall on the side that yes, it has been successful, at least so far. But they're specifically talking about the Epstein stuff, and Andrew's acting like because the names are redacted, that those names don't exist. It's like, well, why are they redacted? Why are they redacted, Andrew? Do you need it spelled out? Are you really not able to put two and two together? You need them to hold your hand and say, this guy did a rape on a little girl. Is that what you need? That's the level of intelligence you have? That's where I would be going with this. I would be incredulous that you're even trying to protect this pedophile ring. I'd be like, maybe you're in the files. Is that what this is, Andrew? You're in the files? No other rational explanation explains why the fuck you would not want to know this as a Christian, God-fearing man. Your country specifically and the rest of the world is being run by this cabal of da-da-da-da-da-da. Would you not actually like to know whether or not that's true? I would love if we could get any evidence at all that the whole thing was made up. That would be the best outcome that could possibly happen. That it's all made up. But Andrew doesn't even want to know. He's like, well, no names. No names. There's nothing under those black bars, so... Give me another rational reason why somebody would be this diehard on the fact that it doesn't matter. I could definitely understand why you would say that this doesn't make him a bad president. I could definitely understand why you could say this doesn't disqualify him from being a great president, a successful president, the greatest president of our lifetimes. I agree with all that, despite the fact that he's hidden this shit. But we're not talking. He's trying to act like there's no big deal. It's insane. Shout out to Chronic. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So if you read the files, even with names redacted, they're only accusations and hearsay. No one is convicted. No one is convicted for that. Nor does the justice system allow for defamation without actual evidence. And so again, I will say that is the issue. The evidence exists. They're just not letting it. They're just not releasing it. At least that's what they're telling us. So that is the failure. That is the failure. Leaving this at at only accusations and hearsay is the failure. Also, two guys trying Trump apologetics to explain why, even though Trump is in the file, nah, it's not that. It's not that. There's like the Steele dossier. That was government evidence and completely fake, right? But verified emails between individuals is not the same thing, right? Can we see the difference between the Steele dossier that can be collectively put together by people and presented as something that it's not versus emails from a private ISP and going through Verizon or Google or iPhone or whatever it is? Do we not see the difference between those two? So I'm happy to explain it. Files don't contain the actual detective work behind this investigation. We have no idea how much they know. Look what they were able to do after J6. Exactly! Exactly! Why do we not have any idea? That is the failure. That is the failure. We should not be at a place where it is just hearsay and accusations. We should not be at a place where we have no idea what the detective work is. That is the failure. Maybe that's not what Owen is saying. That's what I'm saying. That is the failure.
No, I'm using your logic against you. If you're saying
My
it
logic
doesn't
works
prove
for
anything,
me, not for you.
Okay, so I'll accept this because I don't want to debate. So Epstein was not a pedophile. He was not trafficking children. Anybody. He was not friends with Trump. They're not covering up. They're not covering up the files.
I'm willing to see the
Yeah, it's almost like there's ways to verify the things that the government says.
distinction between the mythology of Epstein trafficking children to all of these various pedophiles is a mythology. I'm also willing to see that Epstein himself may very well have been a pedophile, but it seemed like the trafficking was going to him. And you have no proof to the alternative of that. And even when you point at Acosta,
So what is
this
Epstein
happens
doing?
under Obama.
You have no proof, but we got a lot of evidence.
Rearrested under Trump. Trump's the only one who released any Epstein files at all, signed in the Epstein Transparency Act.
Yeah,
Congress
after-
also
And so when you go down this road, it makes it seem like you're just willing to be a sycophant for Trump. Because here I am saying, on one hand, greatest president of my lifetime. And on the other hand, hey, that's shitty that he's hiding this thing up. You know what I mean? He's what's the word? You know what the fuck I mean. Two things can be true at the same time. On the flip side, it's possible they couldn't find any physical or damning evidence. Okay, well then let us know that. Let us know that. Give us give us the evidence so that we can go through it and see that you are right, that there is no damning evidence. Because even if there's no evidence to convict people, that doesn't mean, for better or worse, that doesn't mean that you and I knowing that Lindsey Graham or whoever directly emailed Epstein talking about I want girls. Is that that's not gonna affect how you vote at all? I'm not saying that the court of public opinion should be the end all be all. But this is information we should know. If there's no information to be known, we should know that the evidence doesn't go to anything physical or damning. Us not knowing is the failure. Well, Daddy Trump. I got to defend Daddy Trump. So who cares about PDFs? 60% of you, 60% of you do not believe that Andrew Wilson here, with all the money that he makes, let's just go to his channel and we'll see what kind of views he gets. So we'll go to usually 2 months ago. Okay, so the videos. We'll go to his videos. Let's see here. So we've got 20K in 12 hours, 43, 118, 49, 75, 72K, 67. So, I mean, not doing gangbusters, but like shit. I would fucking love to get those kind of numbers. And you're probably, so if you're like, let's take so we had 20, well, that was 12. So we had 40, 118, 49, 75. So let's call it 55. Let's say an average of 55K. 55K views on a video that is over 8 minutes is eligible for ad money. Probably making about, it's hard to tell exactly, but somewhere between $1,000 and $8,000 for each of these videos. That does not include the donations during the streams. And so there's a lot of money. And fair enough, it takes money to run an operation, whatever, I don't know how expansive the Crucible actually is. But there's money coming in. And I have not seen anything outside of this space of the internet that is trying to make America more Christian again. So they used the files to convict Epstein and Maxwell. If anyone else was in there, they would have got pulled down for RICO for sure. Disagree. I mean, all the other people are people of status, and so it is likely set up specifically so that Epstein and Maxwell were the fall guys. I mean, I'm not saying that I know that, but I'm saying that is, Occam's razor. That would be the easiest assumption. If MAGA Trump is a matter of life and death, then why isn't he and his administration working for free, volunteering? I don't really buy after that. What opens him up? It's not that if you're just releasing emails that have been gathered from the FBI, that becomes they're just emails, unless they are faked, in which case that would be defamation. But you can't sue for defamation on things that people said. If I was, we said that already. No one put 20% of earnings into political change if you're a politician. Okay, so what number would you think is reasonable to ask there? I'll redo it with whatever number you say. So fine, maybe, all right. I mean, 20% doesn't seem like that much. If I was making thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars a day, then putting $200 towards what I claim to want more than anything else that I believe in so wholeheartedly doesn't seem like a lot. But okay, I don't know. I don't know what it is to run a country or run a company or to try to make political change like that. What would be a fair number? explicit in his name in the file. He for sure did bad stuff. Also, he's 90. The caliber of Epstein these days, there will be no real justice. And so let's just stop caring about it. Let's just stop caring about it. That's the logical conclusion of what you're saying, Box. And so, fine. If you want to not care about our country and our world being run by cannibal PDFs, you're free to do that. But just don't come after me that I actually care.
After they redacted them for weeks, they still haven't released everything. They still haven't released everything, by the way.
How would Trump unredact them? Can you explain that to me?
Well, they shouldn't be redacted at all.
Yeah, but how would Trump unredact them?
Well, it's actually pretty easy. I think he calls them and says, hey,
no,
unredact these.
No. That's the judicial branch. That's a different branch.
All right, fine. We'll redo it with 10%. You know what? I'll do it. We'll do it. I'll knock it down to 7.
Government.
And he can call them and
Trump's allowed to do that with classified documents. Not allowed to do that with redactions. Those redactions are going through the judiciary. So what should Trump do here?
He can easily declassify. He can easily release it.
He could not say that it's a hoax. If it's going through all these channels, then clearly it's not a hoax. Then is it? He could do that. He could, not lie.
The judiciary. So what should Trump do here?
He can easily declassify. He can usually release everything.
They're not classified. They're redacted.
Then why aren't they released?
He did release them.
Not all of them.
Millions.
Not all of them.
And not only that, again, how would he get them unredacted? Tell me.
Not even all of them. They're not even all released.
Get them unredacted. How?
It's very simple. You bring out the investigators and you simply read the names that are redacted. That's all you got to do.
You mean like they did in front of a press club, and those poor guys who weren't actually pedophiles got calls and threats and everything else?
That happened to one guy.
Yeah, but I mean,
one guy.
That's reading the names of people who aren't even related to it.
Okay,
this is the problem.
So
man.
this is good. So you're satisfied with the Epstein files?
I didn't say satisfied, but I'm pointing out that
I didn't say this, and I didn't say that, and I didn't say anything, and I'm just saying things. I'm not saying anything here.
I'm not willing to make claims that Donald Trump's a bad guy based on redactions that he's not responsible for. You can't tell me how he should unredact them. You can't tell me
it's very simple. I want
the
all the
victims
files.
are. You
Show
can't
me
tell me
all
any
the
of
files.
this.
I do, the victims go in front of Congress every freaking day.
I only want to jump in just because, given that we have only 40 minutes for the open dialogue.
All right, so there we go. 10%. Let's say 10%. And I thought I said I was going to knock it down. Whatever. 10%. Okay. Well, I said I was going to do 7. Let me do 7.
Though it's been epic so far. I just want to be sure if there are other topics you want to cover. We have 28 minutes left.
I would say,
can we move on to the economy?
The Epstein files is a debacle and a disaster for
the releasing of the Epstein files was a debacle. I agree with that. The problem
that's what they want you to think.
Is that what I'll never
good lefty eat up narrative. That is what they told me.
Is lack of evidence being evidence of a thing. And while you pretend that there's a global pedophilic,
no, we're just your speculation. Do you think that happens? I don't have any way to prove it. The point is what you think about it.
Ring that you have no evidence of controlling the United States. I can show you a global pedophilic ring which exists right out in the open that Trump's blowing up right.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just like a witch hunt, though.
Now,
so Epstein didn't put a bunch of security cameras in all of his places. That didn't happen. He wasn't working with Maxwell, the daughter of the top Israeli
Yes, he worked
spy.
with Ghislaine Maxwell. Yes, there were security cameras in his various places. All of that is correct. That's, again, asking questions, not providing evidence.
So why does he do that for?
Wait, there's cameras here. What's that evidence?
This is an event. This is a televised
event. Yeah, but what's the evidence of?
Who is Epstein televising what's going on in his...
It's so frustrating because you know that if it was convenient for Andrew to be making the opposite argument, he would make the opposite argument. He's playing dumb and he's playing lawyer. Like, are you Epstein's lawyer? What are you doing? What are you doing? How Christian is it I cannot square that circle. I don't understand how, if you're a Christian, that this isn't the only fucking thing in politics that matters to you. I can't think of anything that would be worse, including the transing of kids. And maybe you can make an argument that they're neck and neck. But everything else is not nearly as evil and demonic as what is supposedly going on. But yet, Mr. Christian is ready to just, whatever. No evidence. So, shout out to Equality and Deference with the $5 Rumble Rant. Thank you. So, very, very much. Of course, every donation comes with a treat for the overlord. Said again, President Trump. President Trump, is that on Trump or is that Andrew? President Trump totally flipping on the files and ripping into his own base is very suspicious. We go with Trump, and yeah, suspicious. But no, I mean, like, it's just I can't under it. Like, that's the gayest thing. The two gayest things that I've seen from the Republican Party. Number one is making fun of Massey because Trump didn't like him, and backing up Trump in acting like this is all a hoax. Because all the people like who are on board with it being a hoax were definitely on board with it being real before. So the only thing that changed in their minds, Trump says it's a hoax. So Trump says it's a hoax. Shout out to Opinionated Drone in the building. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Epstein is protected by the aliens from the UFO files. There we go. There you go. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. Yeah, I know, but I mean, we got to call it as I see it. I don't hate him. I got to call it as I see it. And he's talking shit. He's saying things that he doesn't believe so that he can win a debate. Do it that way you will.
This is an event. This is a televised
Yeah, but what's
event.
that? What's the evidence of?
Who is Epstein televising what's going on in his room?
He wasn't televising anybody. Got any proof?
So why are there cameras installed?
Because the same reason rich people have cameras all over their houses.
So he has them in all of his bedroom secret cameras?
What secret cameras? Can you show them?
Yeah, they're in the emails. He literally hired IDF security people to put secret cameras in all of his rooms.
No.
He had a damn security room with monitors in his mansions.
Yeah, you're talking about one specific instance in one specific room, by the way, not on all of his properties and not in the Florida properties. And those
just the one where he took the little kids to get raped.
Those are the ones where he got convicted of all these things. So what?
Quality's got to run. Thank you so very, very much for hanging out. We will see you next time.
What are you talking about? You're talking about a completely unrelated thing to what I'm asking you. Do you have evidence that Trump was part of a global pedophilic ring or that anybody was?
Yes.
Okay,
absolutely.
Give me your best piece.
The Epstein files.
Best piece in the Epstein files.
The whole freaking thing. What are you talking about?
Nothing.
Yeah, this is like Owen. This is this is not a winning thing. Like, take the L on the Epstein files to try to make a better argument. You have to understand when you're on your back foot. You have to understand when it's time to pivot. Yeah, like he could have said that, but he didn't say that. So he didn't. If you don't have any the right answers, you'd be like, all right. He said like 3 times. I don't want to talk about this all night. Okay, then stop talking about it.
Okay, so hold on. So was Epstein convicted?
Not of pedophilia.
Yes, he was.
Okay, who?
Was Maxwell convicted?
I'm sorry.
Was Maxwell
I'm sorry. When was Jeffrey Epstein convicted of pedophilia?
Epstein, jail. Maxwell.
When?
We'll do this one for it's only a minute. We got you. Shout to
you were, and of course are, one of the wealthiest people in the country, managing all of your personal affairs. I would think would typically demand all of somebody's bandwidth. It sounds like that was an issue with the guy before Epstein. How was he able to do that job, but also do work for other clients at the same time?
Well, like Peg does the work now. I think you could supervise the work. I didn't have the idea to inventory furniture or valuables. And it's like, how could you have all silverware in your house and just so people could be walking out with forks and spoons? I hired a lady to be like the house manager who would run the U.S. Embassy in Rome. But then all the things were inventoried. That wasn't work for me or Jeffrey. It was just regularly done. Answer the question. 5 words, okay? Answer the question. Okay.
What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? Hold on a second here.
Work for me or Jeffrey. It was just regularly done. Answer another question.
Did he say he'll fucking kill you if you answer another question? Somebody tell me I'm hearing it wrong. Holy shit. Holy shit.
really does.
Let's slow it down even a little bit more, just to be sure. Just to be sure. 0.7 speed. I mean, I can understand out of like maybe because he's laughing, so maybe it's just like, oh, you fucking yikes. All right, this is Box. You're the last one.
So Maxwell.
Getting not only a free side quest, but a double side quest.
Maxwell's dad was an Israeli spy.
Yes.
Who was running logistics for Jeffrey Epstein.
No. So he was a spy for sure. And then he had a huge publishing empire.
But his daughter was running logistics for Jeffrey
Epstein, yes.
Who has been named by government officials that he's untouchable because he's in intelligence.
Yes.
There's a line there.
Maxwell had a yacht called Lady Ghislaine, which was named after his daughter, Ghislaine, who was his favorite child. And he jumped off one day. He had a very mysterious death, much like Jeffrey Epstein.
Yikes. But yeah, nothing to see here, guys. Nothing to see here. You're crazy and stupid and silly. If you think there's anything to see there.
Was Epstein
Jean-Luc
convicted of
Brunel,
pedophilia?
jail.
When was
Two of them committed suicide
when was Epstein
in jail.
convicted of pedophilia?
I think whatever the first charge was, 2007 in Florida.
He wasn't convicted for pedophilia. That wasn't
Trafficking
pedophilia.
children isn't pedophilia.
First of all,
so now you're saying Epstein wasn't a pedophile?
He was doing underage. There was one or two of the underage prostitutes that came from the school. That's true.
Oh, that's much better.
I think they were 16, 17, not prepubescent children. It's a whole different ball game.
Bro, what? Are you really making? Is this Vosh? Talking about Lolly and like, well, technically, it's a. They're not prepubescent. They're just underage.
What? Haram!
Weren't you just talking about how amazing it is that we're blowing up all the PDFs in Iran? But now we have people who are hurting American children in America. Well, maybe not in America, but you don't care. What a fucking slimy piece of shit. What a slimy piece of shit.
There was one or two of the underage prostitutes that came from the school. That's true.
Uh-huh. That's it. That's the whole thing. So I was like, yeah, bro. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
But I
So
think
that's
they were
underage.
I think they were 16, 17, not prepubescent children. So
Guys, don't ever make that argument. Don't ever make that argument. I will admit, there is a difference between if you fuck like an 8-month-old and a 17-year-old. Those are very different things. But I cannot think of a situation where making that distinction is a good thing. What are we doing? Yeah. And that's why it's about winning the argument and not having a conversation. And I get that, that's his thing. Like, that only goes so far. Give me some more votes on that poll, guys. We are stuck at 50-50, and it's fucking hilarious. Larry said, honestly, I think the Pizzagate stuff is what they really don't want to come out because it's all domestics and linked to the White House directly. Epstein files would lead to Pizzagate and basically end the two parties. That's why it's a bipartisan cover-up and would also take down Hollywood.
Bingo!
Well, but how do you know that, bro? Do you have any evidence? Do you have any proof? Well, then it didn't happen. You're just a crazy person. We closed the border. We got only 2 genders. So it doesn't matter that our leaders are cannibals. What are you, a loser?
whole different ball game. He wasn't convicted of.
It's a whole different ball game. Is it though?
pedophilia.
Okay, so Epstein wasn't a pedophile. Glad we got there.
I didn't say Epstein wasn't a pedophile. I said you haven't given us any proof he is. Got some?
Yeah, there's no proof Epstein wasn't a pedophile.
Oh,
guys.
I'm going to
No
use an
proof.
argument from
He killed
incredulity.
himself.
Is that Gabriel?
Got some?
Yeah, there's no proof Epstein wasn't a pedophile.
Hey, shout out to Gabriel. I don't know where he is or where this was or how that happened, but shout out to Gabriel.
Pedophile,
I'm
guys.
going to
No
use an
proof.
argument from
He
incredulity.
killed himself in jail.
I
Nothing
wanna
to
jump
see
in.
here. And
No,
we
I
should
do
probably
want to-
pardon Maxwell,
I'm
too.
totally-
I do, but clearly a lot of people don't.
I'm totally
wanna jump
incredulous,
in.
but I have no evidence of my claims.
Just because the economy is another topic we might want to cover still while we have time. We do still have about 25 minutes.
Anyway,
In the words of Candace Owens, I don't know, but I know.
so I try to operate off a facts basis. What happened, I'll just sum this up real quick.
Yeah, right. Again, and so that's fine. That's fine in terms. It's not fine that it happened, but in terms of the reality of the situation, I'm okay with the fact that technically he has not been convicted of those things, and he didn't go through the court. Fine. That doesn't mean that I don't know why he still ended up in prison. That doesn't mean that if I know why he ended up in prison and then somebody's running for office and it has ties to them, that I want to vote for that person just because they haven't gotten enough to prosecute him. We're out here talking about Graham Planter and his, well, he didn't know it was a tattoo. And that's an issue, as it should be. And I know there was something that came out today. I saw that it was, I saw that it was there, but I didn't get into it. We'll maybe hop in the after party. But, I bet you do. I bet you do. But when it comes to Epstein, well, I mean, Andrew will talk about how bad the Democrats are. But when it comes to Epstein,
And then I'll give you the last.
all right. Well, since you want to go there, let's see what they're talking about.
The likely Senate Democratic nominee, Graham Plattner, is under fire tonight after he sent sexually explicit text messages to at least half a dozen women after he got married in 2023. The Maine oyster farmer and Marine Corps veteran called it gossip, but his own campaign confirmed the texts are real. His wife, Amy, had alerted campaign staff about the messages.
Full Anthony Weiner.
It could be a liability in the race.
No, Mary.
Well, if you think a guy who is a married man running for office, sending out dick pics to random chicks, and has a Nazi tattoo is just a normal dude, I don't want to know what you think a bad guy is. I don't even want to know.
Marriage is perfect, and I don't want a perfect marriage. I want my marriage.
Plattner is not new to controversy after saying he didn't know a chest tattoo he got while drunk in 2007 was a recognized Nazi symbol. He had it covered up.
Right, Box. So is that an issue or is it not? Is that an issue or is it not? How many Nazi tattoos does Trump have? You're so close. You're so close.
This far more represents who I am now.
In now deleted Reddit posts, he called himself a communist and said, "Why don't black people tip?"
I mean, black people should tip more. That is a problem.
Many Democrats have been hoping Plattner could flip the Senate seat long held by Republican Susan Collins.
Yeah. You know what? I'm not even going to go there. I'm not even going to go there. What if it was just a sticker that he liked? You are exactly the type of person that the establishment loves. And it's weird. It's weird how you're like certain things will you'll see it straight because it helps you, and then certain things you'll purposely obfuscate. Okay, but how many years did you spend serving tables? Because white folks usually tip. Indian people don't tip. It was the skull thingy. Graham Plattner tattoo. So this isn't. Oh, look how much Google is trying to get rid of it. There we go. Dash for tonight. Jeez. So yeah, but yes, Box, you are the baddies. That is what I've been trying to tell you for the last 3 years. You are on the bad side. The good side isn't even that good, but you're on the bad side. Very true. Very true. But I notice my question goes unanswered. So I'm going to assume that that means you've never served tables. And it is just a reality that if you get an Indian table or a black table, they're probably not going to tip. Not always, but even black people that I've worked with, oh, I'm not taking that black table. I'm Indian. I'm not taking that Indian table. This is what I mean. This is what I mean. You support the people who, for the last decade, have been talking about how bad Donald Trump is because he's a Nazi, and this person's a Nazi, and that person's a Nazi, and that person's a Nazi. But wait, this person actually has a skinhead tattoo. My apologies. I'm just whatever. Now it's okay to be white. You definitely were that guy. You absolutely were that guy. Let's not bullshit each other. We know each other too well. Do not bullshit me.
To operate off a facts basis. What happened, I'll just sum this up real quick, and then I'll give you the last word on it, to be fair.
Go back to any of those people. What are the two races that you don't want to be sat with? That's it. They will say Indian and black.
Very quickly on Epstein. Epstein very well could have been a pedophile and likely was himself a pedophile.
Okay, then what the fuck was all of that, bro? What the fuck was all of that?
But when you make these claims about demonic global pedophile rings which control the...
Why? Why didn't you like Trump? As he's not going to answer the question. Why didn't you like Trump? Because of the same reasons that you don't like Nazis? And now, because the guy that you like is a Nazi, it's just okay? Sorry.
A pedophile. But when you make these claims about demonic global pedophile rings which control the United States, yeah, I want some fucking evidence. I do. And I'm not willing to throw the president of the United States that I voted for under the bus without any evidence. I'm not. So, if you want to tie it off, you can.
Well, I'll just say...
And unfortunately, I agree with Andrew. You know what I mean. I agree with Andrew there. All of that we've just discussed is not. Yeah, right? That didn't happen just 5 minutes ago, right? Where is it? 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 Now we gotta find it. Now we gotta find it. Oh, I think, I'm getting close. I'm getting close. Oh, fuck. All right, 2 more scrolls. If I don't see it, I don't see it. I don't care, but we all saw it. All right, I don't know where it is, but yeah, you literally just did that. Yeah, I'm not your buddy, guy. Opinionated said, I like Trump until, are you still talking about the Epstein and breaking the no new wars promise? I said, shit, me too. Fuck yeah. I used to have my MAGA hat right here in the frame because, I wanted to have it in the frame. As soon as that Bibi Netanyahu conference, as soon as he jumped in with that, because let's not forget, the question wasn't even for him. The question was for Pam Bondi. And he jumped in, whoa. Are you still talking about Epstein? There's rain in Texas. GDP go up. Fucking pathetic.
I'm not. So, if you want to tie it off, you can.
Well, I'll just say we also saw in the Democrat emails spirit cookings and children in the hot tub for entertainment. But there's no evidence of pedophile rings.
You're talking about
I'm sure none of it
Podesta
happens.
spirit cooking?
I'm sure
The big art project
That's right,
spirit cooking?
Podesta, that's right.
Yes, Leon.
Yeah, and again, even though I agree with a lot of where Owen was coming from, this was not good to bring up in this debate.
Podesta, who was part of a
I hate to
massive
push
art
this
project
into-
for spirit cooking, along with, how about we talk about Rocket Pizza? Did they have babies underneath there, Owen? Did they have children in the
good-
basement, Owen?
Good opportunity to go into the economy.
So yeah, Pizzagate didn't happen because Common Pizza, that specific Common Pizza, wasn't anything. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. All right. So moving into this, I just got a single question for you. Owen, how would eliminating mass migration into a net negative not cause economic downturn or higher prices? How's that even possible?
Well, it's actually, there's a simpler fix to that, and that is you have to cut taxes. You have to cut them significantly. You have to cut them immediately. Americans are paying roughly 30% of the money that they make plus the property that they own. That number needs to be single digits tops.
Guys, we are 1/3 of the way there to reach our nightly goal. 5 out of 15 donos of any amount or a $75 total. And of course, every donation comes with a treat for the Overlord. He's turned his back on us because you turned your back on him.
And a lot of Americans will have a little more money to take care of their bills and take care of their family. But we're not really having that happen. Now, I feel like this whole argument is assuming that Americans don't want these jobs.
No, it's assuming they do. In fact, my argument to you is just, I'll simply state it. If it's the case that we bring in, I don't know, 100,000 immigrants tomorrow to California, let's say, okay, and they're willing to take $10 an hour less than the Americans who are there, would you agree with me that that'll probably save you prices in goods and services from whatever that corporation is or company?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, no, but there wasn't anybody in the basement. Therefore, Pizzagate and Epstein are not a thing. That's what Andrew says.
Yeah, probably. So like if you took McDonald's and you paid them $25 an hour, your cheeseburger's going to get more expensive. You agree with that? So you can offset that with immigrant labor. Do you agree that that's likely true?
Yes, but I don't believe that's the solution.
I agree with you. But if it is in fact the case that Trump is doing his job, which it seems like he is, since we have negative net migration, why wouldn't it be the case that if we're deporting all these illegals and they're self-deporting at an overwhelming rate, of course your localized food prices are going to go up because most of these jobs are now going to Americans. In fact, this is exactly what Cato is saying. They're saying we're getting hurt mostly in the economy because Trump is not even letting legal immigrants come in. I thought that was what we wanted, man.
That's what I want. A whole moratorium. Remember, I'm a first-generation American. I would not be here if my parents did not immigrate to this country. I'm American. This is America. This is my home. I'll pull that ladder up so fucking quick. 10-year moratorium. Nobody.
We want to stop that legal and illegal immigration. But it's like, not if your fried chicken's going to go up 30 cents. What are you talking about? We want that, right?
Well, the deportation numbers are not where they need to be. I don't know how much that falls into the economic realm of things. Obama deported more people than Trump. So we're not.
There was a lot
getting
more
those
people
numbers.
to deport.
But
There was a lot more people to deport under Obama than there are now? I don't think that is true at all. Was there more illegal immigrants in the country under Obama versus today? There's no way. There is no way. There are most mainstream estimates say there are more immigrants in the U.S. now than during Obama's presidency, including his peak years. Yeah, so that's stupid. They were saying the 11 million, and then we had a bunch of bullshit here. So I don't know why you would say that. Obama had more people to deport, then why wouldn't we have seen between Obama and Biden a huge downturn in any issue that would happen with illegal immigrants? Yeah, right. What are you saying? Opinionated said, top to bottom immigration reform. I'm talking more ports of entry along the border, streamlined process, and entry only after proper vetting. I am down with that. All right, diving back in.
Obama deported more people than Trump, so we're not.
There was a lot
getting
more
those
people
numbers.
to deport.
But I think that
And see, like, how do you, if you're Owen, how do you not hear that and be like, was there?
There's other reasons for that. I think that this gets into the, let's say, failures at the Department of Justice, which maybe they're just starting to get into with the SPLC, but I don't know. We'll see about that if we come back to that. We're being told as Americans, hey, buck up and pay more for gas. It's this war in Iran. You've got to buck up. It's your patriotic duty to pay more for gas. That is a war that's being fought in the foreign and special interests. Do you think Americans might be willing, instead of paying another extra $1 per gallon of gasoline, maybe an extra 10 cents for a cheeseburger if they know that means Americans are taking the job? I mean, that's essentially what we're being
But most
asked.
Americans don't know that, because even people on my side are running around saying Trump's not deporting enough people, even though we have a net negative in migration right now. Those
Well, we do
jobs,
have a closed border.
hang on, those jobs, yes.
Yep. And guys, we got about 20 minutes left to hit that goal before we go to members only chat.
It's a closed border and net negative migration, legal and illegal. More people are leaving than coming. That's for the first time we finally got that. It's like, yeah, prices are going to go up from that. You know this. Why not be honest with people?
Yeah, it's I heard I just retarded.
Well, if that's the case, and we're talking about gas. Hang on, I'm almost done.
Prices went up from tariffs.
Okay.
Prices went up
You
from
want to get
energy.
into tariffs? We can do that in a second, but let's start with the gas prices. All you're doing is pitting Trump against Trump. On the Biden level, at his top, do you know what the gas prices were?
About right where they're at now.
Nope. Way more. They were over
like
$5.50. Yeah, they're $1 cheaper right now at the peak of Trump than they were at the peak of Biden.
Yep.
So you're only comparing Trump's gas prices to Trump's gas prices. Because if you compare them to the Democrat, they were still way higher. I mean, way higher.
But
now,
when
Trump,
did the price go up?
Trump speculation mostly.
No. When did the price go up?
Oh, I thought you said why did the price go
when?
up?
When did the
well,
price
the price has been going up steadily and decreasing.
Iran.
Yes, correct. Due to what? Market speculation. And you can't control speculators, and neither can Trump. It's not because we have some supply shortage of oil. Where's our shortage? Nowhere. We're not getting oil from Iran. We don't even have the processors for their oil. That goes to China. So we have no shortage, but our oil prices go up. Why? Because of speculation. And you just completely omit that. Not only do you omit that, but you omit this other part, which is you still haven't explained how it is that we're going to have net negative migration and prices aren't going to go up. They
Trump,
are,
Hold
right?
on a second. Trump is the one that claimed that he could get gas prices down.
He
He's
did.
the one that made that claim.
And
it
he
hasn't
did.
happened.
If they're lower than Biden's peak by $1.
No.
Yes.
Okay, but we don't even
Just went over that. What do you mean no?
Trump's peak. If this war in Iran doesn't end,
you can't just say, well, I'm incredulous, they may go up more. They're actually going down. They've been going down steadily.
gas
not up.
prices are going down?
Yes, they're going to be going down. Yes. And speculators, by the way, are
I was pissed because I was like, I was driving and I was like, all right, well, a war in Iran, so it's probably going to be more expensive next week. I was like, at half a tank. I was like, I usually was the guy that would like let the meter go all the way down. But since I got this new car, not new car, but the car that I have now, when I got it, I was like, all right, let's treat this one a little bit better. And so I tried to fill it when I'm at half a tank, and I was like not quite there. So I had a little bit more than half a tank, and the price was, I don't remember. Oh shit, I don't remember exactly what the price was. What the fuck is going on? I don't remember exactly what the price was, but I remember that 2 days later, it was like 30 cents cheaper. So I was like, God damn it. I speculate that gas prices are too damn high. I said, shit, me too. There you go. All right.
Gas prices are going down?
Yes, they're going to be going down. Yes. And speculators, by the way, are speculating that, which is why they're going to be going down. Interestingly enough, when we're talking about oil prices, though, and gas prices, yes, at Biden's peak, they were $1 more than they are the national average right this second as we're talking. I even made sure this morning before we came in, just to be sure. And yes, that is in fact the case. So it's like you're only comparing Trump to Trump, and even with him blowing the shit out of pedophiles in Iran, like the Ayatollah Khomeini, he still managed to give you $1 cheaper gas than Joe Biden did.
But you just said it wasn't Trump. You just said it was the speculators. Now you're giving credit to Trump. So I don't know what, I'd like a little consistency.
Okay, so wait a second. So you're going to blame it on Trump instead of the speculators. But when I say even under those circumstances, it's $1 cheaper, that can't be because of Trump.
Let's be clear. No. Here's my metric.
I want the consistency.
Here's my metric.
Yeah.
Trump said on his campaign he would get gas prices down.
He did.
He hasn't done it.
Yes, he has.
He's even admitted that we had to take a detour off of America First to do this war. He said it's over. It's not a war.
He
It is
has
a war.
gotten
We won
the gas
war, but
prices
still,
down. What
Gas
are you
prices have
talking
gone
about?
up since we started the war.
Yes, gas prices went up when we started the war due to market speculation.
So Trump started
I
a war,
agree.
and now gas prices are higher. That's
Yeah,
the
but
fact.
you're only comparing Trump to Trump. And if you're going to compare him to
I'm
Biden,
comparing- yes,
gas
Trump-
is still
I'm
cheaper than the
comparing this-
Democrats.
Right. So what Andrew means when you say you're comparing Trump to Trump is that he is saying that you're using good Trump as the basis and comparing worse Trump to that. What you need to do is compare Trump holistically to another president. I cannot for the life of me understand why. I mean, maybe I don't know Owen Shroyer that well. I don't know his pedigree, if you will, but I can't imagine why Andrew wouldn't have come in with what the framework that I said. If we're talking again, has the Trump presidency been successful? Okay, well, let's define what a successful presidency is. That's a pretty low bar. We've had Biden, we've had Obama, we had we've had Jimmy Carter. All you have to do is show that in order for a president to be successful, they don't have to be loved. They don't have to anything that. It just has to be what you define it as. But nobody's defined anything. Any president can set gas prices. There's a shitload of reserves. Well, they all say that it has nothing to do with the president unless it's their president getting the prices down, in which case it's totally on the president.
Administration to this administration.
Exactly.
Gas prices have gone up since he started this
Yes,
war.
and if you follow Trump's plan, gas prices are likely going to bottom out because he has control of
I hope.
oil there,
That's a nice
control
hope.
over oil in Venezuela.
That's a nice
He has
hope.
control over all of it.
No, Venezuela oil won't be ready for probably months.
But
though.
we still have control of it. What did I say? The future will go down.
We'll see.
Why?
I hope
The
that's the
speculators
case.
say
I hope that's the
same
case, but that's not the case right now.
Okay, but again, you see how Andrew is making the argument that, well, it's going to go down. That's speculative. But when Owen says, well, they might go up if the war continues. Oh, well, you're just speculating. You're just thinking. You have to be able to catch these things in the moment, or with the worst fucking arguments, people like this will dog walk you.
And Americans are struggling financially, and now here we are in another war in the Middle East, and we're sick of it.
Are you going to blame market speculators?
I'm going to blame Trump for getting us into another war on Israel's behalf. Yes, I am going to blame Trump for that.
There you
He
go.
did that.
So,
There you
so
go.
help me out here.
Shout out to Jason. Welcome to the party. Very good to see you, sir. What is going on? I was him mirroring Andy physically.
What?
Huh? Successful presidency is defined subjectively after the fact, and so that would have been if you're going to go in that direction, then it's surprising that Owen wouldn't come in, because I used this type of framing in my debate about is Trump the best president ever, and I said no, and a big part of it was because we don't know. Like, first of all, there's still a quarter of his fucking presidency left. And then, exactly as you're saying, the lasting effects is how we define that after the fact. And so that should have been where Owen was coming in and saying, like, how do you know that in the next 2 years he's not going to do all this fucking bullshit? I don't know that. So far, he's doing pretty good. But success is something that happens at the end. Not making the right arguments. Shout out to Evil Mad Rocks. Welcome to the party. How are you doing? Papa Trump has I don't even want to know what that means. I blame Trump from saving us from World War XI and nuclear fallout. I don't think so, bro. I don't think that was ever going to happen, but...
Into another war on Israel's behalf. Yes, I am going to blame Trump for that. He did that.
So help me out here. Can you tell me all of the downsides of Donald Trump killing pedophiles in the Middle East?
First of all, do you know every single person? Were those schoolgirls pedophiles?
It's institutionalized in the Iranian
No. We're the 200 schoolgirls pedophiles.
I want to make sure that their lives didn't get raped. But that aside, no, of course not. But there's going to be deaths inside of a war.
Okay, so it is a war.
Yeah, I didn't say it wasn't a war.
Does he need
I'm not going to
congressional
quibble
approval?
over the word, even though there's no ground invasion, there's no boots on the ground, there's none of that. I just want to know, how is the global interest served? You're so concerned about pedophiles. He killed one of the most major ones who's ever existed since the late 19.
So that would be it's so disingenuous. It's so disingenuous. Like, yeah, let's just send our entire military because there. You can't make that argument when you just said it doesn't matter that our own government has pedophiles.
70s.
Well, he was friends with Epstein.
He put it
It's
inside
probably
of the
bigger, but-
Constitution of Iran that you can marry 9-year-old girls, dude. And by the way, Khomeini,
That's good.
Khomeini,
So-
hang on, almost done. Khomeini was married to a 15-year-old. Perhaps by the lunar cycle could have been 14. His son was married to a 14 or 15-year-old. A lot of his high command were married to children as well. Trump killed all of them without a single boot on the ground.
Great. And I'm sure after we've killed thousands of Iranians, including young schoolgirls and the entire family, I'm sure that the Iranians are going to be less radicalized because of that. So I'm not
radicalized. What do you mean? How do you get more radicalized than marrying children, dude?
Wanting to marry children and also blowing yourself up. That's how you get more radicalized.
Stupid.
What? Is that a real question? How do you get more radicalized? By doing more radical shit?
Stupid. To that. So I'm not
radicalized. What do you mean? How do you get more
Iranians
radicalized than marrying children, dude?
What do you think they're going to stop?
What are you talking about?
You think they're going to stop?
No. Well, I'm just saying, how do you get more radical? You're like, oh, the Iranians.
Again, wanting to blow yourself up and, these schoolgirls that you care so much about. Doing that.
You're going to get more radicalized than marrying kids?
Well,
like,
the
United States blowing up the pedophiles is going to really make them mad.
How many countries has Iran been bombing this year?
Well, Iran is a state-sponsored terrorism. You agree with that?
And is Israel a state sponsor of terrorism?
I think that Israel's done many terrorist actions.
Is America a state sponsor of terrorism?
I don't think that America generally is a state sponsor of terrorism.
Okay,
no.
well, in the Obama administration, it's very well known we were arming moderate rebels that turned into ISIS and turned into ISIL. So America backs these proxy groups. The CIA backs these proxy groups.
But that was due to Bush doctrine. Most of
and
that
now
was
Trump isn't. Now Trump is Bush.
Trump has win. Where's the forever?
Now Trump is. Where's the forever war? We're in it, motherfucker. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. Weeks, not months. It's been months. That was a month ago. That was a month ago.
We're in the Middle East.
Not a single boot on the ground.
We've been in the Middle East the majority.
That's merely it's merely the fact that we have the technology. If we didn't have the technology, there's no question in my mind. There is no question in my mind that he would be willing to send boots on the ground. This is not a win because drones exist. If the drones didn't exist, then people would have to go. So don't fucking come at me like, oh, well, he's only doing it because of the fact that we have, like, yeah, I'm messing with that bullshit.
Win. Where's the forever war?
We're in the Middle East.
Not a single boot on the ground.
We've been in the Middle East the majority of Trump's administration.
Is there a single boot on the ground in Iran?
We have been at a war in Iran
question, bro.
since.
Is there a single boot? Okay, where?
That's like
where?
All over the Middle East. We got boots on the ground.
No, in Iran.
We got boots on the ground.
Where's our
in the
invasionary
strait?
force?
We got people in the strait. We're talking about going to Karg Island.
Oh, we had 7,000 people there, and now there's 10,000 people there. So, where's the big invasionary force to take over Iran?
So okay, fine. I'll tell you what.
Where's that?
I'm not like. Respect to Andrew Wilson. He knows how to do this shit. I can't even really put my finger on it, but that was a goalpost shift. Listen to it again. How we're talking about first we're talking about is there boots on the ground, and then we switch to
in Iran.
We got boots on the ground.
Where's our
in
invasionary
the strait?
force?
We got people in the strait. We're talking about going to Karg Island.
Oh, we had 7,000 people there, and now there's 10,000 people there. So, where's the big invasionary force to take over Iran?
So you asked if there was people there. He said, yes, there are people there. And then you switched to what? You said flying over and dropping bombs is boots on the ground in my mind. So the Middle East is the same thing. Exactly. Imagine they were just bombing Hawaii from planes. It's not boots on the ground, though.
Bingo.
Exactly. And again, I will reiterate, if we didn't have those planes, Trump would absolutely. Iran cannot get a nuke, right? That's what all you guys are saying. So if we didn't have planes and we didn't have drones, then there would be boots on the ground. So it's not a matter of him caring about the American people. It's not a matter of him caring about our veterans. This is bullshit.
Okay, fine. I'll tell you what.
Where is that?
If they do go into Iran, what will you say
Yeah.
then?
Well, at that point, I'm done.
Okay, fair enough.
Is the case.
Fair enough.
I've drawn the line for myself that if there's a ground invasion in Iran, that would be a continuation.
What about casualties?
Hang on. That would be a continuation of the Bush policies.
What about casualties?
Hang on. Let me finish the point, and I'll get to casualties too. If it's the case that there's a mass ground invasion of Iran,
mass ground invasion. Mass ground invasion. You notice how he knows that? He adds oh, come on. I'm frozen. All right. Well, I assume you guys can hear me. But the fuck. Yeah, if there's a massive ground invasion. What does massive mean? Come on. Can you guys... I can't even see if the chat's going. God damn it. Struggle streaming. Struggle streaming. Hold on a sec. Not that. God damn it. There we go. Let's move that. And that. There we go. All right. We are frozen. Hear myself echo. Come on. I think we're going to have to restart. God damn it. We're going to have to restart. Let's see. Actual boots on the ground. I mean, I agree, but again, that's not something that we could use. Oh, are we back? We are back. Shit. Sorry. Fuck. Okay. Oh, what the fuck? What happened to the fucking camera? All right, hold on 1 second. All right, are we back? We're back. Why is that still shitty, though? 5310.
Brown, what will you say?
Yeah.
Then?
All right. Okay. All right. A little bit of struggle streaming. What the fuck was I saying? I was saying some shit. It was before this. Oh, where fucking it was like, yeah, if there's a massive ground invasion, there's not going to be. Why would there ever be a massive ground invasion? There might be boots on the ground. But you're setting that as your red line, as if you're some principled thing. That's not going to happen. You add the massive in there. So let's see. Has Trump sent any troops into Iran at all? That would be considered boots on the ground. Let's see. I mean, I don't know, but it just and remember the debate is from a month ago. So if you mean in the recent Iran conflict, there's no confirmed reporting that Trump has sent conventional U.S. ground combat troops to Iran in a way that most people mean boots on the ground. Okay. That said, the phrase boots on the ground gets fuzzy. No large-scale ground invasion. Troops in the region does not equal... So the U.S. has moved forces around the Middle East and operated from bases in neighboring countries. Okay. So clearances... So just to be clear, not a single U.S. soldier has stepped foot on Iranian land in this current let's see that because I think they might talk about, well, I mean, from other places, and like to me To me? If you're sending somebody from Oklahoma to Iran, that is not any different to me than somebody who's already stationed in Israel and sending them over. I would not state that with confidence. If by boots on the ground you mean large scale, but your wording, not a single U.S. soldier stepped foot in Iran land, is a much stronger claim that I can't verify. There are at least two reasons to be careful. Special operations and rescue missions, even when the government says no boots on the ground, there can be short duration operations, intelligence activity, rescue efforts, targeting teams, or covert personnel that are not publicly discussed in real time. There's been reporting of at least one acknowledged rescue-related operation involving U.S. Special Forces personnel on Iranian soil during the conflict. Covert activity is often undisclosed, so no publicly confirmed large-scale boots-on-the-ground invasion or conventional troop presence in Iran, but I would not say it's confirmed that zero U.S. military personnel have set foot in Iran. And so fine, I'm not looking to, win on a technicality that, technically, but the whole thing is that when it's convenient for him, the things that we don't know go in his direction. If we don't know about the Epstein files, well, then there are none. But if we don't know about Iran, then it's going to work out fine. I got you. So you're experimenting with some technological, definitely. Yep. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Too much shit be happening. Box said we're just finding defense for Israel right now. Trump is holding out as long as he legally can. He has a majority. Can't get war, and the left is secretly backing him too. Real uniparty stuff. Yep. You got his argument from ChatGPT. I mean, I don't know if that's even. It seems like he's just spitting up bullshit in his head on his own. Shout out to Costco Law School. It says pure speculation, but I think Andrew Wilson believes what he says and makes harder stands than most pundits. Shroyer and Candace or Tucker follow the clicks and checks. Being anti-Israel is popular. I mean, again, I don't know. I haven't seen Owen Shroyer anywhere outside of this. I think he was on Timcast one time, but I haven't seen him. So I'm just going based on what we see. But welcome to the party. Sovereign nation having a foreign military in your country is probably not acceptable either way. But we're doing so much. We're almost going to get back to where we started.
Yeah. Well, at that point, I'm done.
Okay, fair enough.
It is the case.
Fair enough.
I've drawn the line for myself that if there's a ground invasion in Iran, that would be a continuation.
What about casualties?
Hang on. That would be a continuation of the Bush policies.
What about casualties?
Hang on. Let me finish the point, and I'll get to casualties too. If it's the case that there's a mass ground invasion of Iran,
and that's the game. Thank you so very, very much. If anybody on Twitch, come on over to Rumble. If you are not a member over here, the party is still going on, but the chat is going to members only before we ride on. Big shout out to all of the disciples. You got 5 seconds. Remember, the Rumble stream is still going, so while you will not be able to have your chats on screen, I will still be able to see you, but we are going to members only right now. Shout out to the after party. Let's fucking go. All right, so before we dive back in, let me get this. We got 23 points today. All right, I fucks with it, but we got a new goal of 5 donations of $2 or more, or a $25 total. Let's fucking do it.
if it's the case that there's a mass ground invasion of Iran, then yeah, I would have to pull support then, because that would be a continuation of Bush forever war doctrine. However, limited strikes like what we saw in Venezuela, or 6 to 8 weeks, which is what we're seeing right now, that's not enough to pull my support from this president, especially with all of his success in domestic policy.
Agreed. Not pulling my support, but we can still call out the bullshit, even if we still support this president over other the alternative.
Even if I grant you, and I'm not a fan of the war, I'm not an advocate of it, but even if I grant it that it's the worst thing he could have possibly done, it's not going to change the fact he's been a successful president. His domestic policies alone in eliminating crime and mass migration and being a net negative, that's what people wanted more than anything. It wasn't just the forever wars, it was the mass migration. That's what Trump always harped on. And he's been after it and after it and after it. And he did deploy the National Guard to protect these various centers in these cities while ICE was removing these people from the nation. Democrats did everything that they could do to stop him, including court cases, terrorism against them, and everything else in between. So it's like all of those show me that the guy is very successful, even if I grant it to you how bad Iran is.
Well, I think that they made a major blunder on the deportations because now they're basically stopping them. They should have gone after the Democrats first. Quite frankly, they should have been arresting Democrats for treason. Alejandro Mayorkas should have been the first arrest. He should have been hauled in front of Congress. And you're a little too late going after the SPLC, in my opinion, which is now being funny enough. It's actually being directed at the right. They're now using this SPLC thing to claim that anybody that's a dissident on the right is paid for by leftists and needs to be censored. That seems to be the theme with that. But they should have gone after all of these groups right out of the gate, Andrew. They should have gone after all the Catholic charity groups, all the Jewish charity groups, all these groups all along the Rio Grande, all of these groups on the southern border, all the Democrats that brought them in, all the Biden administration that brought them in. All of them should have been hauled to jail.
Yeah,
and they weren't.
Except they have due process, Owen.
And what process have they started?
So hang on.
They haven't even started the process.
So how do you know the SPLC?
Because there's no results.
Tell me, how long were you aware of the SPLC investigation?
What are the charges? They're all financial crimes.
Hang on. Let's walk through this. When were you aware of the SPLC investigation? When they released it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so when they released it. You're not aware of what the Trump Justice Department is investigating or not investigating.
Show me the...
So this is exactly the same argument that you just knocked down from him before. You don't know what they're doing. Okay, but if you don't and you can't tell me that they are, then you can't make the argument that they're doing it. In the same way that you just argued that you can't talk about the Epstein people like that because you don't have the names, why is it fucking different? For the guy who talks endlessly about principles, he has none. He has none.
Evidence.
He said
you're the one who wants to talk about. There's no evidence of your claim. Lack of evidence.
Thank you. Finally, Owen. Finally, waking the fuck up. Finally, waking the fuck up.
Show me the evidence.
He said multiple.
You're the one who wants to talk about. There's no evidence of your claim. Lack of evidence. Lack of claim.
Hang on. He said multiple times that he wants to bring James Comey up on charges. Right? He said multiple times that he wants to go after these
Those
people.
charges got dropped.
Instructing his Justice Department to investigate these things. We're finally starting to see the fruit. My evidence is we're finally seeing the fruit with the SPLC. I'm guaranteeing you that there's going to be other organizations which are indicted for various things like this. This is
such as who's going to be indicted?
It's exactly what it is that you said that you wanted. It's at least a step in the right direction.
They've only been charged for financial crimes. They need to be charged for
treason. So was Al
treason.
Capone.
They need to be charged for treason.
Yeah, Al Capone. Al Capone was not charged for his mob hits or for...
Talk about a whataboutism. So they got Al Capone on tax stuff. Therefore, we shouldn't prosecute treason? What? Am I stupid? Do I not get it? He's saying they committed treason and they should be arrested for treason. And Andrew says Al Capone was not charged for his mob hits. What? Okay. And then...
Wait a second. You're not comparing Al Capone to 15 million invasion of this country.
It's the case that you go to jail for 15...
Al Capone is more of an American than Mayorkas.
If you go to jail for 15 years for the crime of murder or to jail for 15 years for the crime of for some type of financial fraud, you can prove the one but not the other. Which one would you go after?
You go after the one that you can prove, but I think Owen's argument is that you can prove the treason. That's the whole point. That's why Al Capone is irrelevant here. You fucking retard.
I would go for it all. That's what the feds do. That's what they did to me.
No, you wouldn't. If you could prove one but not the other, you would go after the one you could prove.
Okay, but we can prove the I don't even remember what the fuck they're talking about. But we we have evidence to go after them for treason. The reason they went after Al Capone for tax stuff is because they didn't have the evidence for bootlegging and his mob hits.
Always overcharge so they can get you a plea and get their incarceration rate and get their conviction rate. I would know. I've been through it before.
Sure.
Regardless, we're talking about almost 2 years into this administration and no deep state arrests. None.
Who do you want to see arrested?
I just told you Mayorkas. There's one. How about the Obama administration?
Yeah,
how about John Brennan? How about James Clapper? How about James Comey?
Tell me what your process would be to arrest them.
Okay. First of all, Dan Bongino, who was the deputy director at the FBI, spent 8 years writing books and doing a podcast all about arresting these people. He gets in there and...
Oh, I heard this part. Holy fucking shit. This made me angry. All right. So, yeah, Dan Bongino.
Writing books and doing a podcast all about arresting these people. He gets in there and does none of it.
Yeah,
so
the same Dan Bongino who talked about what was going on in the Epstein files ad nauseum, how none of it made sense.
And then changed his mind.
Because he went in and saw, here's what's funny. Why would anybody ever want to go work for the Trump administration from the private sector, especially somebody like Dan Bongino, if it's the case that he goes in, looks at the evidence, reviews it, and says, actually, I got this wrong, and you guys fucking crucify him for it.
Yeah, because he's lying. Because we're not stupid. Because he's lying. That's why. So, yeah, if you want to go work for the Trump administration and lie, like Cash Patel, Dan Bongino, Tulsi Gabbard, Pam Bondi, they're going to get crucified. We're not in this fucking cult game like you are, Andrew. We have principles. Even if we don't have a God, we have a principle. And that principle is that bad people should not be rewarded just because you can't prove that they did things. They shouldn't be legally, in any legal trouble. Yeah, you should definitely need to prove legality if we're going to have legal consequences. But me knowing that you're a piece of shit does not need to go through a fucking jury of your peers.
You crucify him for saying, look, I got this wrong. And it's like, why would anybody ever want to go work for the Trump administration if that's going to be the case, Owen?
Imagine that. You give us a little peek into what's going on in the Epstein files, and it makes people even more aware and more suspicious, and then you say there's no there there. If anything, our peek at the Epstein files showed us that there is something serious there. Very
exactly. So the evidence is that even though we don't have the proof, we have strong evidence that the proof is being blocked. All the evidence that was there that led up to Dan Bongino and Cash Patel being part of the Trump administration, that was all real. And then all of a sudden, they were just wrong about everything. Come on, man. And you buy that. I know for a fact that he doesn't, but hey, it's a debate.
Oh, if you've never, look, not only have you never provided any evidence for that, but your other problem is you didn't actually answer my question. What incentivization would like, let's say Trump drafted you to go to his administration to investigate these things, and you went in good faith and you did. And you came back and you were like, look, I took a look at all this evidence.
I hope that you guys, if I start grifting, I hope you guys give me as much grace as you give Andrew.
And I was wrong about this. And then all of your friends and cohorts and everybody else who was cheering you on fucking crucified you for it.
You know what, Andrew? It's funny that you say that because that's literally happening to me right now.
From who?
That's literally happening to me. From this new MAGA right cult.
Who?
I already did this. I already put my time in.
Yeah,
I was arrested.
Crucifying
Hold on
you
a second.
for it.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. For four different times, I was arrested for supporting Trump. Okay. Now
all incorrect, by the way.
Now, you like Trump. I don't like Trump. Now, beyond the point, I already went through that crucible. I already put my face.
I said the crucible. To the guy, that's a crucible.
It's my name, my neck out there, and it's not even that I necessarily did it for Trump. I did it for the truth because I believed Trump was innocent and I wanted to support
But
it.
how are you
I've
being
already been through that.
crucified?
I have MAGA people putting me on lists. I have
What
MAGA
lists?
people doxing me. I have MAGA people sending people to my house. I have Laura Loomer in my box all day telling me she's telling Trump to post negatively
That
about
was
me.
typified.
Trump posted something about me. He told me to shut the fuck up. So I got arrested 4 times for this guy, spent months in prison for this guy, did everything for this guy, censored, lawsuit, everything, lost all my social media, kept supporting him, and then
Sounds like a personal issue. Sounds like a personal issue, bro. I mean, I don't blame you. But that doesn't really speak to his presidency in general. Did you think that Trump cared about you personally? Real quick, guys. If you think that any politician cares about you personally, then you're fucking retarded. I'd go so far as to say, if it's not somebody in your direct family or like a true friend, nobody gives a fuck about you. Nobody really gives a fuck about anybody who's not in their family or in their close circle. And that's okay. We don't have to be, it doesn't have to be that either I'll die for you or I can't talk to you. But politicians don't care about you. You're just a number. We're all just a number.
Thing for this guy, censored, lawsuit, everything, lost all my social media, kept supporting him, and then what is the one recognition I get from him? Fuck you, shut up. I don't even care. I did it because it's the truth. And now the truth is, this administration has turned against us. MAGA has now been weaponized against us, and Trump is now the very globalist that we were supposed to get out of the White House.
I kind of agree, but like, again, with all that personal shit, it really weakens the message.
Ironically hilarious. So the first
is it ironically hilarious or hilariously ironic? I think you meant to say hilariously ironic.
thing that you claim, you say, hey, look,
this wasn't that funny.
I was crucified for my support of Donald Trump by Democrats. Do you agree? It's by Democrats.
Well, actually, first it was by Republicans because we were going up against
Never Trumpers.
Yeah.
Like you are right now.
No, I'm not a
So
never Trumper.
anyway,
I voted for him 3 times.
What happened is, well, now you're like, oh, he's the worst thing ever.
No, I'm
when
saying
you're talking about,
he's failed. This
yeah,
administration
he hasn't failed. And when you're talking about this, Democrats were the ones who persecuted you. Democrats were the ones who threw you in jail. They were the ones who didn't want to give you a fair trial. Me and my wife, we advocated for the release of J6ers everywhere that we possibly could, yourself included.
And I will give Trump that. That is the biggest victory.
Yeah,
I will never
huge
regret
victory.
voting for Trump because he did that.
Yeah,
Never.
huge victory. Okay. But not only that, let's dive into this a little bit deeper. When you're talking about your supposed crucifixion now by the right, Trump hasn't shut down your channels. He hasn't done any of that. Under Biden, that was a sure thing.
Well, let's
to have
not
happened.
be so sure that's not going to happen soon.
You say gonna, hasn't though.
Right. But you made the argument about the gas prices, right? You made the argument about Iran, what's going to happen, right? Right. But he can't make any arguments about what's going to happen. I'm really glad that, we are watching this. I'm really glad because exactly what I said at the beginning. That it's fun, and it's like the other day when we were watching the Candace and Anna thing, we got bored and we went to the trans thing. Like that's fun because it's fun, it's easy. It's like, oh, look at the trans, whatever. But when it gets to two people that are on the same side of the aisle, then it's a lot more interesting because it's not just platitudes. And not only do you get a better understanding of each individual, but you get a better understanding of what other people in your group, what exactly do they think? Like, you know what you think. And a lot of people who are going to be on your side are going to have similar ideas. But not all of them.
Okay, under Biden, it was...
Isn't that the whole point? Is none of this stuff has happened under Trump, and
Biden,
you're saying, oh, but it could.
Hang on,
like,
under Biden, no, it's not. Under Biden, it would have. For sure. He was working with Facebook and these other groups in order to shut down people who had podcasts. You have a
both correct. Both correct.
Voice right now. That's true. The president of the United States might have told you to shut the fuck up, but he still gave you a platform. Tell him to shut his fucking mouth. That's the distinction.
No, Trump did not. That's the First Amendment. That is the First Amendment. It was given to us by the founding.
Okay. Well, yeah. Biden took it. Biden infringed on your First Amendment rights, and Trump didn't.
He didn't give a fuck about the First Amendment.
And
he
neither
was
does
working
Trump.
with the tech companies to shut you down.
Trump doesn't care either. Trump, they'll censor us under.
They never did. They never cared about you.
Trump, they already did. He did nothing.
Where?
What are you talking? When did I get censored? What year?
No, the Trump administration.
I was censored under Trump 1. I was censored from 2018 to 2022.
Of Trump's administration censored you. What?
What did he do for it? What did he do to end the censorship?
That's different.
That's a different question.
You got to make a distinction.
No. You're the one making claims that Trump did something for me.
Yes, he did.
I'm not asking Trump to do anything for me. I'm saying that
he
we had
instructed his
censorship under
Department
Trump.
of Justice to stop putting pressure on Facebook and these other groups for censorship. He promised he
But
would
that
do
is
that.
happening. That's why he just brokered the deal to give the Ellisons everything so that they can censor the internet in favor of this war and foreign policy that's unpopular.
Where's that happening?
Right now. It just
Where?
happened with TikTok. It just happened with Paramount.
No, TikTok, they talk about the war constantly.
They do talk about the war constantly on TikTok. And I mean, I'm a lot more comfortable saying things like the vaccine didn't work. It was bullshit. COVID-19 was let's just say bullshit. I'm fine saying that people are gay and retarded. The landscape has changed. The landscape has definitely changed.
No, I'm on TikTok arguing with him constantly.
Ellison and Oracle are about
That is true. That is true. He does his whole fucking TikTok invasion
to
show.
have all
No,
these
he would know.
databases. They're going to sell all of
in
all
the
private
future
information.
soon. But you've been wrong about futures before. And by the way,
wait a second, hold
right
on.
now.
That is what Andrew needed to say. Because they're both appealing to futures. They're both appealing to speculation. But Andrew's saying, yeah, but your speculations about the future that like, let's say we're here and then this is the past and you made a prediction about here and that prediction was wrong. Now, at this point, you can say, well, yeah, but you said futures before and you were wrong and mine weren't. Not the strongest argument, but at least justification for using the same exact argumentation that he is.
Soon, but you've been wrong about futures before. And by the way,
wait a second. Hold on.
now.
Okay, hold on a second.
I'm talking about
Hold
right
on a
now.
second. When
I'm holding.
when Doge ended, and then Musk called the Epstein files a hoax, and then struck Iran, I was called a panicking. I was called a panicking because I knew it meant we were getting into a war with Iran and a regime change war with Iran. I was called a panicking. I was called a panicking because if he did this, the MAGA coalition
A panicking? I've never heard that.
would be destroyed, and I was called a panicking because I said if he does this, we're going to lose the midterms.
also made
And now
some-
all three things.
He's
of
a
those have
panicking.
happened.
Except
every
you were also
single
wrong
one.
about Venezuela.
What was I wrong about Venezuela?
In Venezuela, you said that there's a good chance there that we're going to be bogged down on a war.
Never said that.
You did too.
No, I
you
did
said
not.
it on your show. Yes, you
No,
did.
I did not.
You said there's a good shot there. You were in a debate when you said it, in fact, with a caller.
So this is when, and you go, okay, when? What date? What timestamp?
Good shot there would be bogged down as well.
When did
what?
And there was a good shot.
That's what's funny to me. It's like every time I dive in to your view, it's always, well, down the road, he's going to do these bad things. Down the road, he's going to do this. Trump's administration hasn't censored you. Trump's administration didn't jail you. Trump's administration didn't do any of that. You just gave him credit for getting you released. And not only that, when we're talking about the economics of this thing. We diverted into this, which is fine. I think that speech is something that we need to debate about. But when we're talking about the economics, you still haven't actually told us how it is that you, Owen Shroyer, are going to make an offset for net negative migration without prices going up. There's going to be
cut taxes.
That's an adjustment period.
You can cut taxes in a year.
Do you think that prices are going to immediately decrease because you cut taxes?
Prices don't have to decrease. You have more money in your wallet. You have more money in your bank account. You're not paying it to the government.
Again, those are adjustment periods that are incremental. It would be so if you cut taxes immediately.
Takes one
year.
year.
And by the way, Trump doesn't unilaterally have the power to do that. He doesn't unilaterally have the
I mean, we're in the executive order era, so
power to just cut taxes. That has to go through Congress.
War used to have to go to go through Congress too.
And so this idea that you have, one thing he did do, and he did do well unilaterally with his executive orders, was with migration. And he did get us to the point where we're at a net negative of migration.
So he can do things by executive order and not just through Congress. Got it. Okay.
Who would ever have given us that? Who out of anybody in the field would ever have given us net negative migration?
If Trump has a positive, it's definitely on the migration issue, but it's not perfect. He's still giving Chinese students, he's still letting Chinese students into these universities to save their ass. He's still letting the
50% decrease of the H-1Bs. But the Cato Institute recently said, in fact, cut down 136,000, 50% of the H-1Bs eliminated under Trump's policy. So yeah, it's true. Chinese immigrants can still come in and study under H-1B visas, 50% less of them. That's correct.
So don't you think that there should be an adjustment period, just like you said with taxes? Shouldn't there be an adjustment period for hiring Americans? Because what happened was the farmers, agriculture, all these big businesses said, Trump, we have to have this cheap migrant labor.
That's correct. Yes.
And so he caved and he let the donors get what they want. That's what Trump does.
That's what's
this
funny.
is a donor class administration.
In this case,
you had the argument, Owen. You had the argument. You had the argument right there. So you were talking about adjustment period. So you're talking about the economy being bad, or the economy doing well, and that's going to take an adjustment period. And then you went into whatever the fuck you're talking about now.
This cheap migrant labor.
That's correct. Yes.
And so he caved and he let the donors get what they want. That's what Trump does.
This is a
donor class administration.
In this case, not only did he not cave, but the opposite happened.
What are you talking about? He's doing mass deportation.
No. He gave subsidies, and yes, there has not only has there been big time deportations, but it's border crossings. It's just new ones even coming in versus self-deporting is an amazing feature at a net negative. Same with immigration internationally, which means legal immigration. So yeah, he did deal with them with subsidies. That was designed to keep the prices down. But again, if we follow your policy, which would be mine, you want them all out, right? I want all the Mexicans who are working illegally out of here.
I would say you can't, there's too many, but I would say you have to do at least the 15 that came in under Biden.
Well, you want to get rid of, I want them all gone. I want all the illegal
immigrants gone,
too.
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, great. So if we get all the illegal immigrants out of California.
But Trump's not doing that.
Hang on. If we get all the illegal immigrants out of California tomorrow, right? What happens to the price of produce? Does it go up or down?
Well, we need an adjustment time, Andrew.
Hey, that's my whole point. We would need an adjustment time.
So we both agree that mass deportations is a failure of the administration.
What you're dealing with right now is an adjustment time due to the. How is net negative migration a failure?
We're not getting mass deportations.
You don't have to massively deport people who aren't coming in, dude. You don't have to.
They're already.
Obviously, if they're not coming in, then you don't need to deport them.
Here. Yes, and by the way, he's going after the criminal elements of those people first, which he's been doing. There's a net negative of them crossing into the border. If you had said day one with any Republican administration, we'd have only 1,000 border crossings a day versus 46,000 border crossings a day. You'd say it's the biggest fucking success anybody had ever seen.
How about this?
Somehow with Trump, though, Trump gets exactly that done day one. No. And Owen goes, well, what have you done for me lately?
What is the number? What is the number that you would be happy with of deportations for Trump's 4 years?
Overall number?
Yeah.
Probably I would want to see like happy with, you said, versus what would be optimal that I'd want to see.
Let's put a reasonable but good expectation number.
I mean, I would be happy if it was the case that we had no new immigrants coming in. I think that's a massive success.
We agree that Trump is at a.
I was expecting him to be like, all right, we got to get at least 20% out. Because like that's still a lot, but just having no more people coming in, that's pretty low bar.
Success. Okay. Let me answer my own question, then you can respond. Yeah. I think if Trump doesn't deport at least 15 million people, which seems like an impossibility, but they came here, we can get them out. There's strategies to do it. Yeah. I think 15 million. If it's less than that, I think we got a problem.
Well, the entirety of the basis for the 15 million number, you would agree with me. There's way more than 15 million illegal.
Probably like 40. Here. Maybe
or 50.
Yeah,
it's very high.
Yeah.
So if it is the case that it's very high that we have this amount of illegals that are here, that's going to take a long time. And Trump has been hampered. He was moving towards this. He's been hampered in the courts again, 3 times the amount of injunctions any other president when it comes to illegal immigration. And he's trying to unilaterally do this because Congress isn't working with him. He's hamstrung at every level. He's using executive orders to push that through, and it's been wildly successful.
But he can't do that with taxes, right? It's just if you're looking, there's so many fucking little pieces, little phrases, little things that he says that he just talks over himself. He talks out of both sides of his mouth in every single thing I've ever seen.
Wildly successful with,
unless it's specifically about what is orthodoxy about. Anything else?
The tools that he has. You have to say that that's successful. A net negative migration.
I've said that that's the one success, but I just
that's
don't
the
think,
big success.
I just don't.
We can space them out a little more. We don't have to spam the chat when there's only 5 people here. When most of you are.
I think that it's going to be where it needs to be. I think that he's caved on the mass deportations, and at the end of the day, as much as both of us would like to see every single illegal immigrant deported. I think that
but if they are, the prices are going to go up, right?
I think that you can negate that by not getting them into another war in the Middle East.
The war in the Middle East, are you kidding me? You think that that's the budget buster in comparison?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the military, that's not really a big expenditure for what?
He's asking for $1.5 trillion in the next defense budget.
Nothing.
We pay $1 trillion in interest on our debt.
Do you know what our entitlements are in comparison to military spending? But that's my whole point. When we're talking about entitlements, the number one spending, not military. That's one.
I think
the second.
Okay, right. But the point is that Trump has a much more direct ability to control where that military spending is going versus all of the entitlement spending.
I think interest is about to take entitlements.
Well, maybe, but the number one spending right now is entitlements is 3 times higher than military spending. 3 times higher.
I don't like them all. Look, I don't like it. It was like a elder Gen Z thing for like a minute, and it's gone away, and I don't miss it. Now they all got the broccoli haircut.
Most of those entitlements are coming in because of illegal immigration and mass migration. You know this. I've heard you say it yourself.
I have a zero tolerance for any welfare.
Yeah, I've heard you say it yourself. So if that's the case, you're not going to be able to do this without a transitory period where prices go up.
That's why Mom named you Dirt, because you're like Joe Dirt.
First of all, real wage growth have gone up 1.3% because the jobs are finally going to Americans.
The economy's bad. You can throw numbers every day. The economy is bad. More Americans are living paycheck to paycheck.
Are real wages up or down?
Debt. Down.
Okay, so how far down are they?
They're as down as they've ever been.
They're as down as they've ever been, ladies.
Bro, just say, I don't know the exact number. Down as they've ever been. What the fuck does that even mean?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Anybody can cook these numbers.
These wages are as down as they've ever been. No, the wages are up. Are you going
to tell Americans that they're doing good financially?
I didn't say there's not room for improvement. We're talking about whether or not Trump is successful. I think that Americans would be doing worse if real wages were at a net negative like they were under Biden. And that real wages have gone up 1.3%. It's a major thing.
Yep.
And cost of living has gone up 2.3%.
And guess what? That'll go down when you get rid of mass migration and immigrants.
The conclusion of the open dialogue. Gentlemen, thank you very much. That was a riveting open discussion.
I think we take questions.
Yeah, I know. Take this question.
By the way, that's how a gentleman debates. So
That's what a loser says. He just threw so many fucking and so many fallacies at you. That's how a gentleman debates. Okay, bro. Trying to save face.
Looking for something truly worth your time this summer. DebateCon 8 is bringing.
All right.
If you this is rigged. This is rigged right here.
100%.
How does she get first question?
100% it's rigged.
Check the ID.
She was
and
in the
folks,
front row.
I have to remind you.
Shout out to Rob.
For the Q&A, it's absolutely essential. We want to press you to get to your question.
Right,
With that, thank you very much, Rachel.
Okay,
Rachel Wilson. Oh my God, she's so amazing.
Since this is going to be disingenuously framed as Andrew loves Epstein now, I just want to say many of you.
No, I'm not. As someone who is very openly against a lot of the positions that both the Wilsons hold, I don't think he's pro Epstein. But he was very much arguing in such a way that made it seem like that just doesn't matter to him. And that's only on him. Don't blame me because he was defending Epstein.
We're very happy about a lot of Owen's points on Epstein, and I am too. And Andrew did make clear we don't think he's good. We don't think pedophilia is good. Given.
But she's 17, so it's a completely different ballpark. Right, Andrew? Right? Didn't you say that?
Since there are 30 to 40,000 girls 15 and under each year getting married in Iran, and there are 2.3 million girls and women living in Iran right now who were married before they turned 15. And this was not the case before this regime took over.
This is your reminder. I said somebody would get a prize. This is your reminder. Okay? I'm reminding you right now. If you catch the voice, you win a prize.
For 18 and up marriage laws prior to 1979. If we can get rid of this regime and the regime change eliminates this child marriage in the millions, would that be worth it to you? All of you who are upset about the Epstein files, would that be something that you would support?
Well, I'd have to know what the work.
Yes, that is something I would support, but me supporting that would not have any bearing on whether or not I support releasing the Epstein files and trying to get as much clear and legitimate and verified information as possible. Got your little aid to come and reframe your whole debate, huh?
The payoff is no. I'm inclined to say no too. I'm inclined to say no too because Iran is not my country. We've been in the Middle East for decades, for my entire life.
About pedophilia when it's here. We don't care about 2.3 million children.
No, we care more about it when it's here. We care more about it when it's here. Ironically, this is the argument that I was making to Andrew's argument. That he said, "Oh, if you care so much about the PDFs, then that's what they're doing. So you should be supporting it." And of course, that's not a real argument. But we can flip it around and go, "Oh, you only care about the when it's over there." You know, I mean, come on.
Children being married off to old men in Iran.
I care about fixing my country first, and I feel that our presence in the Middle East has not resulted in anything positive.
So then at least be honest that it's not about pedophilia.
It's not solely about pedophilia. It's about pedophilia and the level of control over our government and the blackmail and the secrets and all of that. So no, it's not just about the pedophilia. If they were only trafficking adults, I would still care. That was so hard. Oh, you knocked that argument down so good.
You do not care about pedophilia whatsoever. You're just ass mad. That's bullshit.
Well, if you want to change Iran, I'm sure that they'll take you over there. You can go over there and fight the regime change war of the administration if you care so much about it.
No, the point is.
No, I didn't. No. The
point is consistent.
How? Am I in the right room? Was this not the guy that spent half of the debate defending Epstein? And Owen just doesn't want our money and resources being spent to blow people up in the Middle East, whether they are or not pedophiles. And that's defending pedophilia.
What? If the entirety of the consistency is, if Trump isn't actively going after pedophiles, he's supporting pedophiles.
No, if a stack of files that give us the evidence that pedophiles exist in our government lands on his fucking desk, and he doesn't do anything.
Hang on. Statement about this war. He's never mentioned that Iran.
Hang on, let me make the point. If that is the case, well, why does he need to mention a thing that's known? But anyway, if it is the case that it's not consistent, hey, man, if Trump isn't actively going after what I think is a U.S. pedophile ring that I can't even prove exists, then he's supporting pedophiles. But over in Iran, where you literally see him blowing them up, where's the consistency?
Is he blowing them up because they're pedophiles, or is he blowing them up because of oil or nuclear weapons? Bad faith.
Consistency there, man.
He blew up 200 school children. Nobody has mentioned fighting pedophilia as part of this war. It's a regime change war for Israel to get control of the Middle East. That's what this is all about. And so, no, I don't.
And you know it, Andrew. You know it.
Is it
Iranians bad? Iranians bad.
Is it institutional to the? Is it institutional? Is it institutional to the Iranians under Sharia law that they're allowed to marry kids or not?
When every American has a backyard,
I'll tell you what, answer the question.
Barbecue pit and a pool, then we can go police the world.
Can you answer the question? Is it the case that institutionally Sharia allows you to marry children or not?
I'm not interested in Sharia. I don't want it in my.
Yes, it does.
Answer my question. Can you answer the question, Owen?
Yes, Sharia is bad. I don't like Sharia.
Yes.
I condemn
Okay.
Sharia.
So then the idea that she has is in fact the case. She's talking about consistency. If Trump is covering for pedophiles by not arresting who you think are pedophiles with no evidence, then you're supporting pedophiles by not letting him kill them in Iran.
It's different. It's my country versus Iran. Okay, I live in a.
That was unironically, I think that was the dumbest argument I ever fucking heard from Andrew. What a reach! What a reach!
Is in fact the case. She's talking about consistency. If Trump is covering for pedophiles by not arresting who you think are pedophiles with no evidence, then you're supporting pedophiles by not letting him kill them in Iran.
It's different. It's my country.
It is different. It's an entirely different thing. But if you, this is, typically the first order thinking that we see with the leftists. Oh, pedophile bad. So you like a pedophile? You don't. You're not killing the pedophile, so you kill the pedophile. You don't want them to kill the pedophile, so you like pedophile. He knows. He knows how stupid of an argument this is. But we got bills to pay, and we sure as shit ain't doing anything to help America.
Versus Iran. Okay, I live in America. I want to fix America. If you want to fix Iran, go to the Middle East. Nobody's stopping you.
It's not about fixing Iran. It's about the consistency of your logical position, which is not
So
logical.
it's not about fixing Iran, but that's the entire basis of your
It's
statement.
not a logical position to say, oh, I'll oppose it in this one hand, and if Trump doesn't do that, he's supporting it. But on the other hand, if I take us away from killing them in Iran, that's not him supporting pedophilia. It's bizarre.
It's not bizarre at all. It's completely logical. Wanting to go after people who affect our country directly versus people on the other side of the world. What do you mean he's using his own standard?
One more time?
No, I'm good.
Oh, okay. You got it.
Hey, how are you doing? So wouldn't being successful on at least your primary promise of a thing be considered success?
No.
No. Okay.
If I hit one home run in a 10-inning game and we lose, that's not a success.
So
that's a solid point. That's a solid point. I don't agree with his side, but that is a solid point. Listen again.
Wouldn't being successful on at least your primary promise of a thing be considered success?
No.
No. Okay.
If I hit one home run in a 10-inning game and we lose, that's not a success.
So is it the case, though, that Trump has been hugely successful when it comes to mass migration? He has been successful in that arena.
Nobody?
And that was one of his number one.
Nobody?
Yeah,
Nobody? Last chance. Last chance. Did you catch it or did you not? Did you catch it or did you not? You didn't catch it. Nobody wins the prize.
You
got it.
Primary promise.
That's avarice. The guy with the orange background just comes in and yells, usually on the speakeasy platform. Shout out to avarice.
Successful when it comes to mass migration. He has been successful in that arena.
I for
And that
sure
was one of
thought
his
you guys were
number
going to
one
get that one.
promises.
Yeah, I said yes. I
Yes.
said that's been a success.
Yes.
That's one of, like, if there's 10 issues.
But
one of
that's
10.
all negated by a 7-week war.
It's a separate issue, and he's failed.
All right.
I said if somebody notices the voice, because y'all fucking know exactly who it is when he pops up on a panel that I'm on, and he just asked a question. Nobody noticed.
First, Andrew Wilson. I first learned about the Orthodox Church from you, and my family and I were just baptized into the church this past
Wow! Oh
Christmas.
my God! Yes, Queen.
Second, Owen, you've made a lot of comments about prosecutions and reducing taxes, all while neglecting the fact that these require two other branches of government working with Trump. The judiciary branch has consistently blocked him and almost every single move he's made, and it's had to go to the Supreme Court I don't know how many times. Meanwhile, Congress, no thanks to Republicans in Congress, by the way, have dragged their feet on almost every single issue. So why are you putting all the responsibility on Trump when we've got two other branches of government?
Well, Trump appointed the attorney general, and she failed him. So he did that. He appointed that. So
It's not the judiciary, dude.
So I don't know what it, I don't know what exactly.
Yeah, I mean, good point about when asking about the other branches of government. Pam Bondi is not part of the judicial branch. But
The judiciary of radical judges, which have blocked Trump every chance they get. It was so bad, in fact, that the Supreme Court finally had to step in and say, look, sorry, California, you can't set immigration policy for the rest of the country.
Do you believe these judges are corrupt?
Many of them, yes.
So then why don't we do something about corruption?
Because in this case, corruption is a matter of spectrum between political ideology. Democrats believe that they're doing something which is well within the purview of federal judges to do. And it was within their purview to do until that was recently constitutionally lifted by the Supreme Court, who said federal judges in California can't anymore say, hey, Texas, this is going to be the new standard for immigration law. They were blocking Texas immigration law in radical courts in California, dude. He's been hamstrung at every level by the judiciary. 100% that's true. The Supreme Court, which he appointed, he's had massive victories there.
Well, not according to him recently, but I just find it amazing that the Biden administration can make thousands of prosecutions and arrests within months, but this administration can't do anything about Epstein clients or about the deep state.
Thousands of arrests of who?
Myself and January 6th.
Yeah, so they were able to utilize the power of the media to paint all of you guys as being violent extremist insurrectionists in order to get the public on their side. In this particular case, not only Democrats, but on your side, people have weaponized the media instead to paint Trump out as though he's part of some pedophilic satanic elite, thus getting the one thing he always had in his teeth was the media.
And I do agree that as Andrew said earlier in the debate, the mythology around Epstein, I don't think that it's helpful for people to kind of play it up. Like, obviously, we expect the left is going to be like, oh, using the files 30,000 times, whatever. And so, like, as someone who generally supports Trump, voted for Trump, and is unhappy with the way that he's handling things, that's got to be a measured. Attack is the wrong word, but it's it's got to be measured, because we don't want to go into what Andrew's talking about, where acting like because your name is in there, you're automatically a PDF and all that. That's not going to help anybody. That is not a reason to hide or redact the names. I understand that a lot of people may very well be caught up in some bullshit. That is not an excuse not to go after the people who were involved in the bullshit. We have a justice system for a reason. You're named in the files, you go through court, you're cleared. I understand that it's not that clean. Unfortunately for those names, Epstein and co. made it messy. I didn't do that. Trump didn't do that. So, sorry, sucks to suck. Sometimes people get caught up in shit. That's why we have judges. That's why we have juries. So it's, oh, you don't even really know. Fuck off. Fuck off. Because you would not apply that to any other type of crime. And this is the worst one. And the Christians. Where are the Christians? Playing the same bullshit game like everybody else. Because surprise, surprise, being Christian doesn't make you special.
And you guys have done everything you can to take that away through this obfuscation of Epstein and the Epstein files. When we have way bigger fish to fry in domestic policy for sure, and you still don't even have any evidence of any of those claims, which is wild.
Right. Again, that is the issue, that we don't have that evidence, because the evidence exists and we don't have it. That is a disconnect that we were promised, and that promise was broken. So you can't use not having the evidence as a claim because we were promised the evidence.
This is for Owen. So if Trump could only do one thing that would make you change your mind, would you rather him act more on the E-files or where we're currently at with Iran? Which one is a bigger issue for you?
I would say probably bring the troops home, generally speaking. Bring them all home. And I think you win the midterms if you do that. I think you save face with everything.
You ain't winning it. Trump, well, I mean, Republicans aren't winning the midterms, no matter what.
If you come out tomorrow and you say we're done in the Middle East and we're bringing all of our troops home, I think you sweep the midterms.
Nope, because then everybody's, see, Trump did all this stupid shit for nothing. That was an L. I don't know how there is any path to anything but slaughter. A blue wave is coming in November.
This is mainly for both of y'all. I just want to ask, how can we get our economy to rebound after the negative effects of the tariffs, especially on American manufacturing workers? I myself actually work at a industrial plant that produces grinding wheels for brakes. And our business, we had to increase prices a lot because costs of raw materials went up a lot.
So don't wear a checkered shirt when you're going to be on camera.
Because it was harder to import them because all the chromium.
Actually, that's hilarious. It's not even checkered. Like it's worse on here than it is from what I'm watching, but it's like a regular golf shirt. But I thought from looking at what you guys are looking at, it looks like checkers, and it's just not. It's just even worse.
Manganese comes from China.
Sure.
So I'm wondering, like, what is y'all's stance on how we could get the economy back
Oh,
and get the prices back down?
I don't
Well,
want
was
to
a
do
big
this
fan, and still
anymore.
am, of tariffs. What the tariffs were used for, people get it wrong all the time. They think that it was just willy-nilly. It wasn't. What happens is if you have the North American Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA, so this means that, these are tax-free imports and exports. So if Canada imports a bunch of stuff from China, who we have a 25% tariff on, and then just labels it Canada, don't they avoid any of our tariffs, the Chinese? Yes. So what that is it's closing back doors by putting tariffs on westernized nations. And there's no possible way, by the way, for you to raise revenue in the United States. You only have two ways to do it: taxes or tariffs. So Harris's idea was that she was going to get rid of the corporate tax breaks, and that was going to drastically increase prices because it has to. Trump's idea was that he was going to fight a tariff war with potential future enemies and people who are adversaries with us on the global stage.
Got
now.
a lot of
You pick your
enemies.
poison. Which one would you want to see?
Yeah, I'm a little concerned. I think Andrew and I would probably agree with most these issues. I'm a little concerned about that you talk about your company specifically is so reliant on China. This is something, whether it's Trump or the next president or Biden, all of our presidents have been put into a deep ditch because our Congress has sold us out to mostly West Asia, China. That's why everything is made over there. So now we're basically reliant. These minerals you're talking about, rare earth minerals, we're basically reliant. Pharmaceuticals, we're extremely reliant. And that's because Congress for the last 20, 30 years has completely sold us out.
Through bribes and kickbacks, by the way.
And so we're screwed on that deal. I would say I support tariffs too. I would agree with Andrew that I support tariffs. The problem that the president has, and he did get screwed, I think, by the Supreme Court on this deal.
He did.
But the problem that you have is we have so many corporate taxes, we have so many regulations. It's like you're already so deep in the hole. You talk about your company. What I'd like for President Trump to do, since the tariffs look like they're not going to work now, I'd like to see him get corporate tax rates as low as possible. I'd like to see him. Remember when he came in the first administration, he had that big display and he cut the red tape. It was getting rid of all this regulation. I think that's the best plan right now. I think we just have to get rid of as much regulation as possible, get rid of the corporate tax rates as much as possible. And, that is one that you can mostly blame on the Democrats, but the Republicans went along for the ride.
Trump extended.
All right, guys, I'm running low. We got 12 minutes. I could sit here and just let this play for another 12 minutes. I don't really have much in me, and there's only 3 of you here. I love you guys so very, very much. But I am on my last leg. This is 5 straight days of streaming. I gotta take a day off. Do I have clients tomorrow? I don't even know if I have clients tomorrow. So I apologize. I owe you and the members. I owe the members 12 minutes. All right, 12 minutes. I owe it to you. So we did not hit the goal for the stream or the after party, but a big shout out to all of the donations. We have Real Black Betty again, our boy Box, and our sponsor, Nessoweed. Thank you so very, very much, guys. I do very much appreciate. Oh, and of course, Equality and Deference with the Big 5 over on Rumble. Can't forget about Rumble. Thank you guys so very, very much for hanging out. As I always say, I know you could be doing anything else in the world, and yet here you are hanging out with. He's like, bro, are we done yet? We're done. Thank you guys so very, very much. We will be back Wednesday live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and sometimes whenever I feel like it. Probably not tomorrow, but always check in. And if you are new, please do subscribe. Of course, those dudes. Just ring the bell. Do all the things, guys. I'm sorry. I'm out of here. Until next time, we are out of here. Peace.